Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The 2026 Winter Olympics begin tomorrow in Milan. Mixed curling doubles kick off the games there. The opening ceremony is Friday at 2 o'clock. Mariah Carey is going to be part of the performance. It was announced today that Columbus will host men's and women's soccer in the 2028 Summer Olympics. Tournament games will be held at Scott's Miracle Grove Field, home of the Columbus Crew. Ohio's capital city is one of 6 that's going to hold soccer matches as part of the Los Angeles-based Summer Games. In the NFL, Super Bowl 60 Sunday in Santa Clara. The Seahawks are 4.5-point favorites over the Patriots. Joe Flacco and Shedeur Sanders will participate in the 7-on-7 Pro Bowl tonight at 8 o'clock. And the Hall of Fame class of 2026 will be announced Thursday. Bill Belichick, not part of the class. Robert Kraft will also reportedly be left out. This update is sponsored by Eco Plumbers. Get $500 in free plumbing services when you buy a new water heater. Visit geteco.com and book today. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy, Austin Ward. My good buddy, Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Tom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
and
then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
I thought the Pro Football Hall of Fame said they were going to clamp down on the leakers. I thought that was going to be a thing.
Yeah, right.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Bo's doing contact tracing at home. They got to find patient 0.
Uh-oh.
His voice was through the show yesterday, was losing some power. And he's got to do 5 hours of radio. So he puts that thing through the ringer on a daily basis,
sure,
even 100% healthy. So he's resting that thing up. Hopefully we'll have him tomorrow or sometime later on this week. So we had to go and get a professional. The pride of Olentangy, Joshua Perry, joins us for the next 3 hours. Bud, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Glad to be back with you guys. Excited to talk a little sports here.
We had a busy day. It's great that I think that the Super Bowl is Sunday. And so we have the pomp and circumstance that happens with that. I think the Patriots had their media session yesterday. You have the Pro Bowl games, for whatever those are worth tonight. But you get everything else in the middle of that for the NFL, the coaching carousel. Todd Monken, will he win the press conference today up in Cleveland? But you've also got a little Olympiad to prepare for. And Joshua, I know you had mentioned that some of your colleagues are heading to Milan or wherever in that part of Italy that they're going to do Olympic sports. Things begin tomorrow, mixed curling doubles. I think you've got the Blue Jackets with Zach Werenski start next Wednesday, but the opening ceremony at 2 o'clock on a Friday. Does Mariah Carey do it for you?
Oh, she does it for me. Mariah Carey is an all-time favorite. I've got playlists of that woman, but also through the years, the visual offerings have always hit for me. Big fan of Mariah Carey.
Yeah, I'd say 90s Mariah Carey's up there.
Yeah.
If we want to do the best artists of all time from a visual perspective and from a songwriting hit perspective.
I like what she did, though, as the years went on. She kind of reimagined herself, like laying on a couch or sitting in a bathtub singing. Like, that does it for me.
And so the 2 o'clock is a great time, I think, for an opening ceremony. It's the middle of the day on a Friday. The hell else you really do?
Yeah, what are we doing?
You're trying to stay warm. You're in your house. It's also, I think, Andre Bocelli. I'll have to ask Dom at 10:30 if I even pronounced that right, but he's world famous Italian tenor.
Sure.
He's also going to be performing there, so you get a cool duet with that. I wonder if more people are going to have takes about the Olympic opening ceremony than they will the halftime show with Bad Bunny.
Oh, there will be takes.
Because I know if there's one thing I can't talk about for the next 3 hours, it's do you like the NFL's halftime? Because it's like with me with the camp thing for Ohio State.
Right.
I know they did it at the end of the first quarter, and that was to get fans to, I don't know, sit there and listen or sing along. But the first quarter, the halftime, that's a poop and a beer for Eric. Intermissions, poop and a beer. Halftimes, poop and a beer. These aren't times where I'm going to sit and be like, oh, What are they offering me at this stadium event? What are they offering me on television?
I'll just say I feel like the discourse has gotten out of bounds. And the main reason for me is because a lot of the halftime shows just don't do it for me. Like, I don't think they're that good. People have done too much with the visual entertainment aspect of it and the artistry. And it just feels weird to throw that in the middle of a football game. But also, like, in the grand scope of, like, this is an artist who is controversial, like a lot of artists are, right? Like that, a lot of artists just are. And so it's off the rails. I'll watch because it's going to be on the TV, but I'm going to be in the garage fridge grabbing some beers like a good American.
Yeah, I think that if anything, because there's so much that works up to the Super Bowl, and like Green Day's doing the pregame performance, like is anybody tuning in for Green Day in 2026?
What's a Green Day song?
I mean, they've had a bunch of them. Brain Stew is one of them. I'm sure American Idiot.
Oh, I've heard that one.
Yeah, you've heard.
I've definitely heard. I just needed you to name some so I could match it up.
Reese, I've got some takes on the Olympic opening ceremony already. Like, Team USA, the hockey, they're not even flying over till Saturday.
Well, they've got.
So all the Olympic athletes aren't even going to be there. One. Number two, why are we playing games in the Olympics before the opening ceremonies? Like, isn't the opening ceremony supposed to kick everything off and then the Olympics start and then we go? Like, we're going to have 2 full days of competition going on before we have the opening ceremonies. And then I found this out reading up a little bit about Team USA even more. They're going to leave before the closing ceremonies. So these guys aren't going to get to participate in any of it.
Opening, closing, right? Just air quotes around it. By the way, Winter Olympics, not to poo-poo the winter sports, but certainly not the fanfare of the Summer Olympics. So maybe there's a little bit around that. The other thing I will mention is what they've done with the fashions for the teams during these opening and closing ceremonies and the designers that get involved. Keep an eye on the fashions. The Americans wear Ralph Lauren. They look phenomenal. I know the Canadians for a while were doing a Lululemon type of collaboration for their outfits there. But the way these athletes look nowadays is on point.
Unless they're wearing shorts, I'm out. I don't care about the fashion. Unless there's some stylish shorts.
So we still got, 3 days left in the NHL's, I guess we'll call it the first half of the NHL season. Blue Jackets have a pair of games, including tonight. They're in New Jersey taking on the Devils. That's a 7 o'clocker. We'll have fan pregame coverage at 6:30. Joshua, I think the last time we did this show, it was kind of like, well, we'll see what the Blue Jackets do in the offseason.
Yeah, buddy.
Then we'll, reassess in later part of 2026. And then I believe they dismissed Dean Evison. And since then, 7-1 under new bench boss Rick Bowness. And I was just, after last night's action in the National Hockey League, I had to take a look at the standings. And the Blue Jackets right now are 2 back of the Washington Capitals. Actually, what would it be? 7 back of the Bruins for that second wild card spot. But they are 2 back of the Capitals. They are 4 back of the Islanders for the 3rd spot in the Metropolitan Division. 2 games left to go. You've got several in hand of the teams you're looking up at. Is that hope? I feel
definitely. And I'll just say it like this: like, part of the thought process when they made the coaching change was like, could you get a little bit of spark? But you had a lot of ground to make up. You needed some things to happen around you. So those things have happened. Like, I was looking at it as, okay, they're going to head into the Olympic break, press reset, and then probably be looking to sell at the trade deadline, right? Like, how are we going to think about the future? What is this roster going to look like for the years to come? And now all of a sudden you're kind of having this conversation of like, do we like what we have? Do we stand pat? Is there an opportunity maybe to add another piece that we really think could help us close out this season so we can make a run here? So certainly a different feel. Bake, I know that you probably have some stronger takes here, but this bonus bump has been amazing. And this team, it just feels like there is a legit air of hope around this team.
Yeah, for sure. Reese, don't short bonus. He's 8-1 now in his 9 games.
Thank you.
As Blue Jackets head coach. Hopefully 9-1 after tonight, and then 10-1 after tomorrow night. The key number there is the 4 points behind the New York Islanders, because the way it shakes out right now, you're going to get 3 teams from the Metropolitan and 5 from the Atlantic. So the Jackets are actually closer to that third spot in the Metropolitan with the Islanders. Interesting to note, the Islanders and Penguins both lost last night, so that helps the Jackets there in their pursuit of those two teams. The Penguins might be outside of the Jackets, the hottest team in the NHL right now. Igor Chinnikov has been awesome, which is what we were kind of worried about when he got traded there. JP, I said this yesterday on the show, especially with this run, I just get the feeling Don Waddell is going to try to work something big. I don't know anything, but I just get the feeling he's going to go after a big fish here to really add to the top two lines of this Blue Jackets team. I don't know if they would add on defense because they've got a lot of guys right now, and I don't know if there's anybody major on defense that's going to be available at this trade deadline, but I just get the feeling Don's going to do something big.
There's a fish and bread joke that somebody smarter than me can possibly make, but could a reunion be in the works?
I think anything's possible. Now, that would have to be on the bread man, right? He's going to have to want to, wherever he goes in a trade, he wants to sign a new contract in that place. So does Artemi Panarin want to come back here and be somewhere where he's had success and be somewhere where he has been before? So that would be up to him. I think the Jackets have the pieces and the assets to make a trade work with the Rangers. But again, it would be on Artemi Panarin to re-sign a contract. And for the Blue Jackets, I would think you want that to at least be 3 or 4 years. I don't think they're in the rental business. I think they're in the next couple of years business.
Just the idea that in 3 weeks we've gone from, well, we'll see you next year to, all right, let's be a seller let's be a buyer at the trade deadline. I think is huge and a massive tip of the cap to Don Waddell for making the move when he did, because too often in the history of the Blue Jackets they've waited too long to make decisions that you kind of feel should have been made at certain times. And the old Blue Jackets, I think, would have waited till maybe the Olympic break, maybe to the end of the season, to remove the head coach of his duties when things just weren't working. And you couldn't pinpoint to one thing or the other, but something had to happen. And you can't fire the players, right? At least not yet. With Dean Evison, you can make that move to Rick Bowness, who I think he took the phone call on his boat. Like, yeah, sure, I'll come and coach. And as Baker said, 8-1, looking to make it 9-1. They've got a 5-game win streak going into Chicago or going into New Jersey. Then they'll be back home tomorrow night taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. Jody Shelley will be on the call for both of those contests. He's en route, I believe, back to Columbus, and we'll check in with him at 11:30 today.
He's en route to New Jersey. He's going to land
again tonight. Thank you.
He's supposed to land in Newark at around 11 a.m. So
we'll do Shelley time at 11:30. Again, Dom Tiberi coming up at 10:30. We'll do a season-long NFL Blitz at 11 o'clock. We'll do The Real Truth at 10 a.m. on this Tuesday program. But coming up next, can Todd Monken win today's press conference? It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Would you enjoy watching a football game if the officials were paid a bonus for every flag they threw? Or a basketball game where the refs got paid for every foul they called? Okay, how about hiring a furnace and AC company that pays its technicians by the number of parts they can sell you? Hi, this is Dennis, president of Care Heating and Cooling, and today, this is how many companies operate. They call it performance pay, and it rewards technicians by paying them more for billing you more. Why is this bad? Because it abuses your trust in a technician to be treated fairly and honestly. At Care, we've been family-owned for 31 years and have always paid our technicians by the hour for repairs. We'll show you exactly what needs to be fixed and why, and give you our low upfront costs before we start. And unlike other companies, our technicians will never be rewarded for throwing more flags. Our Central Ohio-based staff is here for you 7 days a week. Care Heating and Cooling. Book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com or call us at 1-800-COOLING. When you need a company you can trust.
Come into your local AAA Tire and Auto Service for a full synthetic oil change for just $74.99. Plus, earn $7 toward your next service with Duramax dollars. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer ends February 28th. See store for details.
Hey, it's Anthony. So I was recently asked how I've been doing in my personally fit arch supports from the Good Feet store. And I paused and I said, you know what? Pretty darn good. Because it reminded me what I was dealing with a couple years ago. My personal journey. I had plantar fasciitis, that horrible heel pain. If I was on my feet for a while, my lower back would be on fire. And now, honestly, none of that. Zero issues with my feet since I started wearing them. I have my Good Feet arch supports in every day. I feel supported. I feel aligned. And now that I feel better, it's made all the difference. I want to work out more. I want to go out more. Just be more active. I'm telling you, over the last couple of years, my health, my energy, my quality of life has all been affected in a really positive way. They've really helped me keep the pain away. The guys ask me all the time, do I really have them in today? Yes, I do, and I'll take my shoes off upon request to show you. Go take the free test walk. The Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway and Stringtown Road in Grove City. Get started at goodfeet.com.
Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good. You know the savings are so good. You know the savings are so good. Great cars, great deals, Great Lakes. GLakesHyundai.com.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Well, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Jake Diebler's Buckeyes hit the road for a Big Ten battle with Maryland.
Live fan coverage starts Thursday night at 7:30.
Every game, every season. Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Black history is American history, and this Black History Month, the Ohio Education Association believes every student deserves the right to learn the full story of the nation we share. I'm OEA President Jeff Wensing. In 33 years as a teacher, I've seen how honest, inclusive education helps students become critical thinkers and engaged citizens. This Black History Month, stand with the Ohio Education Association as we stand up for our students' freedom to learn.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Scattered snow showers today, mainly south of I-70, looking at accumulations. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with highs in the low 30s. For tonight, mostly cloudy with our lows in the single digits again, and then mostly sunny on Wednesday with daytime highs topping out in the mid to low 20s. I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 weather impact forecast.
Bobby Carpenter demands that you watch Morning Juice on YouTube. If you don't, Tito will move into your house.
Live at 6 a.m. on YouTube and streaming on the Fan app.
Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Yes, it is. Eric Reeser, Joshua Perry, Ryan Baker rolling along with you until noon today. I'd forgot to ask top men in the break if we're going to be carrying or dipping in to the Browns introductory press conference with Todd Monken today. I believe it's noon o'clock when they're going to be introing him as their head coach. Maybe if Rothman, I guess it's a Rothman and Ice call, and I don't necessarily know, Joshua, what he can say to win a press conference, more so of his demeanor. But I think the one question I have is, have you talked to Jim Schwartz yet?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if that's something that he can control regardless of if he's had the conversation.
Probably not.
The winning the press conference aspect of things is one of the craziest ideas in sport to me.
I love it.
It
means nothing.
No, it doesn't mean anything. And I remember Liam Cohen, all the memes that came from that press conference.
Duval. He asked it in the form of a question.
I mean, that guy can coach. So
sure can.
I get it. Like you want to feel like you're re-energized and you want to feel like you hit the ball out of the park with the guy that you hired. I don't think you get to figure that out until you actually see him coaching a product that's not happening in the press conference. So will he win it? I'm not exactly sure. The outfit that he wore when they posted him meeting with Shedeur, that's been going around online. They said he looked like a divorced dad who's hitting the bottle a little bit. He had the big-ass jeans on. He had the suit jacket that didn't even look like it went with the outfit. Like, I don't know if that's a win the press conference kind of guy, but it feels like a guy who knows how to coach ball. If you can't dress, you could probably coach ball.
That might work in Cleveland.
I I don't know how many press conferences Bill Belichick ever won. Like, I do not care what Todd Monken looks like. I do not care if he wins a press conference or not. I just hope he can come in and coach this Cleveland Browns team and get them out of the doldrums that they have been in for so damn long. And somehow, I don't care how, I don't care if it's development of the guys in the room or he identifies the right guy, get a damn quarterback.
I think the most important thing with that is finding a veteran in free agency. So you have somebody not named Deshaun Watson to compete with Shedeur for that starting job. Because I think the one thing, and hopefully Monken realizes this, is how vitriolic Deshaun Watson is.
Yeah.
In his presence, how much anger that brings from the fan base.
It doesn't even feel like he's focused on football right now anyway.
Or in the last 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, like every he'll throw a couple posts up there where he's holding a football. Not even like can we see him doing something with it? But everything outside of that feels like it's curated lifestyle content that is not even football adjacent.
Reese, I'll push back on that a little bit. If Deshaun ends up playing for the Browns and he ends up playing well, I don't think the fans are going to care at all about any of it. Like, the fans are angry with Deshaun because they gave him all this money and there's been no production from it. And you gave up all these draft picks, and there's been nothing to show for it.
Based off you saying that, I don't know how you can continue into what you're about to say.
If he's the starter, though, and he plays well, and the Browns do good, all the fans are going to be happy. There's going to be a minority that's like, this dude's a bad dude. Most of them aren't going to care.
These are big ifs. And we'll have months to dissect how the Browns are going to roll in this offseason. One of the things, Joshua, I wanted to get in with you about it was the 10 head coaching changes that happened this offseason that looks like Shula is going to go to Arizona. You're going to have Clint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator of Seattle, once the Seahawks are done with the Super Bowl. He'll be the Las Vegas Raiders head coach. And I think of the 10 teams that had coaching changes, you got 2 of them that are okay. You're right back where you were last year. You got the Bills and the Ravens. Doesn't matter the head coach, although I think they made pretty good head coaching hires.
Yes.
But the rosters are designed so right now, you're back in the playoffs next season without any question. I do wonder, of the 8 remaining, the best opportunities to walk into. For me, it does feel like the Giants.
Yeah, no doubt.
Feels like a good opportunity, but also with the Las Vegas Raiders, because you do have some talent there. If you can convince Max Crosby to stay, and you've got the first overall pick, to where if you don't want to use it on Fernando Mendoza, I guarantee you there's a sucker in the top 10 that's going to love him in Indianapolis at the end of this month, and they would love to make a move and mortgage some of their future for that guy.
It's going to be, I'm very intrigued. It feels like when you have the number 1 overall pick and there's a quarterback with the hype that's surrounding Fernando Mendoza, because there's nothing around him. That's the reason why the hype is where it's at, is there's not another quarterback in this draft pushing him. I don't know how you can convince people that you made the right decision to not draft him or to trade the pick or whatever the case could be. But to your point, they have the number 1 overall pick, and they've got a ton of cap space. So this is a situation where you feel like if you hit on your draft and you go out and get some free agents that can change your organization in a few years, you'll be back in a better spot. If I'm drafting, Fernando Mendoza is a guy I cannot take number 1 overall. And I think he is a very good player. But when you're talking about the number 1 overall pick, and especially at quarterback, you're saying this guy is going to come in and instantaneously change our organization. When I watch him, I'm not sure that he has all of that. He's a guy who functioned off of a lot of RPO, so you see the easy entry passes out there on the edges where he's got a guy who's got 7 yards of cushion, throw it out there, easy completion. They had a dominant run game. They wanted to run the ball as much as anybody in college football. So, and there were the moments certainly where they said, Fernando, you got to go out here and make some clutch throws. But through the course of the game, it wasn't a lot of drop back pass. He's hitting a tight window throw over the middle of the field. He's threw a lot of back shoulder. You call him a back shoulder merchant if you want to. Charlie Becker had some really good catches. Omar Cooper Jr. had some really good catches. For me, that's the one thing that I'm a bit concerned with. And I know they do RPO in the NFL, but they're much tighter on those offensive linemen and how much they can go downfield to get that run look. I'm just not sure that if you're going to be a team who needs a quarterback who can make throws on his arm consistently. I have not seen that. I'm not saying he can't do it, but for number one overall, it becomes a little bit more difficult for me to want to roll the dice on that.
And I think for the Raiders, you can kind of do something similar to, and they're not on the same trajectory, but for the Cleveland Browns, I think you bring in a veteran, so you just provide competition and you provide some depth in case of emergency break glass, or maybe this veteran could come in and be your starter. For the Raiders, if you don't want to use the number one pick on Fernando Mendoza and you want to get best available player, there's a hell of a lot of talent in this draft that can start on Sunday right away, that if you brought in a veteran quarterback to just be that plug for a year, maybe two, then I don't want to say you're in it right away, because the AFC West is really good and is going to be for at least the next 5 years. But it does put you, I think, in a better position earlier than if you're just taking Fernando Mendoza, because we need a quarterback and he's the best one available.
It's a weird draft to me in the sense that the best players are in positions that don't have super high positional value. Caleb Downs is a great example of that. He's a player that I think everybody would want. Where's the line of where you take a safety in the NFL draft? You probably not in the top 10, right? Like, I just don't know if teams are doing that. Arvell Reese, another guy who some people have as a number one player on their big board. If you're projecting him as an off-ball linebacker, where can you take one of those guys and feel like you have the positional value? Meanwhile, the guys that you would typically want to take, which is quarterback, maybe offensive line, maybe you take some of those guys in the top 5 and the top 10. Like, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure that the positional value right now matches where you would actually take players in the draft. And so I'm curious how a lot of teams are going to kind of parse that together.
I understand the positional value to an extent, but to me, isn't a draft or your job as a team to acquire the best player possible?
Sure.
So, like, I don't care if Caleb Downs is a safety. If I think he's the best player in this draft, I'm going to take him number one. Or maybe I'll trade back a pick or two and get some other assets. It's one of the reasons I was okay and pushed for the Browns to trade back last year and take a guy like a Mason Graham, because I thought Mason Graham was bust-proof. Yeah. I don't know if he's ever going to be the best defensive tackle in the NFL, but I feel like he's going to play at or close to a Pro Bowl level for 10 to 15 years. So I don't care if I took that guy at 2 or if I took that guy at 5 and people told me I shouldn't, because if I get that production from him, I win. I feel like Caleb Downs is the same thing. Caleb Downs is going to be a Pro Bowl caliber safety, an all-pro caliber safety for as long as he's healthy in the NFL, and I'm going to take that all the time over maybe an Arvell Reese, who has a super high upside, but maybe there are some questions. Or a Fernando Mendoza, who we overvalue quarterbacks anyway, but I'm definitely not taking him number one.
I think it's to that point, though. Like, Jeremiah Love, nobody's taken him in the top 5 this year. He might be the top 5 player in this draft. And part of the reason why is because we saw what happened with Ashton Genty and walking into a situation where there's not enough around a player who's dependent on other things to go well. The value's just not there for certain guys. So I get what you're saying. If I'm drafting, I'm doing what you said. I want the best player, and I want the best player that I think goes in my system. These NFL franchises and the way that they got nerds in the back that are doing all of these calculations to figure out whether the position matches the value of where they're drafting. And I just don't think teams are going to be willing to draft the best players in the right slots because their position is not that valuable.
Yeah, I'd said I think there are teams in the top 10 that you could sucker to that number one spot. I'm looking at 2 and 3, the Jets and maybe the Cardinals, if they figure out what to do with Kyler before the actual draft, because 4 through 10 feels like they've got it figured out at quarterback, or if you're the Cleveland Browns, you're not touching a quarterback right now.
The Jets.
That's a weird position, because I look at the Chiefs at the 9 spot and see they need a quarterback for the future, because they've still got Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
So maybe it is a thing where if a quarterback's there. No. There's 2 teams. So with the NFL Combine, Mendoza's going to walk in. He's going to wow everybody. He's going to make everybody fall in love with him. I think I agree with you in that this draft might be the draft to say we're good on that quarterback.
Real quick, I think what he does in meetings is going to be so intriguing because it feels like everything is media trained and rehearsed when it comes to how he speaks. And if I'm a GM or a coach, I'm asking him crazy questions. I'm probably having two people ask him questions at once to try to fluster him because I really want to get to the bottom of who he actually is. Like, I don't need media trained Fernando Mendoza. I want to know who the real Fernando is when I get into that room.
Do we need more international games? That's next. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
At Baths R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement. As the Midwest's fastest growing 5-star bathroom remodeler, we're more than just transformations. We're a community driven by a mission to bring your dreams to life. Our installation team, part of the Baths R Us community, isn't just skilled. They're dedicated to respecting your home. Each day, they bring craftsmanship and hustle, turning your dream space, no matter the size, into reality. Together, we embrace a culture that values diversity, collaboration, and giving back. From supporting local projects to fostering a workplace where every voice is valued, Babs R Us is more than a company. It's a community of experts. We're also expanding locations to create more possibilities for homeowners across the Midwest. Wherever you are, you'll find us ready to turn your dreams into something you can see, feel, and enjoy every day. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, loan to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsrus.com. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, you may be in big trouble with Chip Wood.
Our owner?
Free oil changes along with alignment?
On any 4-tire purchase.
And Michelin's up to $100 off?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike, but I'm telling.
But the Wood family is behind all this.
Oh, those rascals.
But don't tell the accountants.
Of course not. And what do they do again?
Buy any set of 4 tires at Tire Discounters and get a free alignment and oil change. Make them Michelin's and save up to $100 more. See store for details.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Here's what's up on a Super Bowl Tuesday, as is tradition. The boss of the NFL, Commissioner Roger Goodell, gives his State of the League address this year because the Super Bowl will be on NBC and Peacock. We love NBC and Peacock around here. Goodell spoke with NBC Sports' Maria Taylor, who is everywhere.
Everywhere.
She's going to the Olympics, right?
Oh, yeah.
So she's got Super Bowl duties until Sunday and then off to Milan?
Yeah, so she's in San Fran right now, and then I don't know what her flight arrangements are,
nuts.
but she might be with some of the top people, so they might be taking a jet over there. Who knows?
Before we get to the commissioner's comments, is that something that you want to do for 2028?
I would like to see if there's a role to be able to cover the Olympics. I mean, like, who wouldn't want to, in our business, be able to say that they were somebody who got to cover the Olympics?
That would be a bucket list thing. Like, I don't know how much radio coverage they do anymore, but maybe this station will have Olympic updates. And I always thought, coming into this business, that would be one of the cooler things if they just sent me with a microphone and here's your Olympic update at the top and bottom of each hour. It would be such a cool experience. Of course, the news, today that Columbus is going to be hosting a couple soccer matches in the men's and women's tournament for 2028. I think you're going to get 6 other cities: Nashville, New York, San Diego, San Jose, and St. Louis. And then they've got the kayak events that are going to be taking place in Kansas City. So truly, 2028 is a North American experience.
Giving them the people of the world the best we have to offer with St. Louis. I love it.
Do we really want more international games? The commissioner said there's 9 of them in 2026. You're going back to Rio. You're in Melbourne, Australia. I think the Chargers are going to be the home team for that contest.
Oh, boy.
Munich, Madrid. London's going to have 3 games. Paris, the New Orleans Saints are going to be the home team for that. They've got the Browns on the schedule, so speculation abounds that it could be Cleveland and New Orleans and Paris, and then Mexico City. No Dublin, Ireland game this round. Is 9 international contests too much?
I mean, I think for me and what my preference is, probably, I think if you're the league, it's clearly making them money. It's clearly a great way for them to promote the sport, so they're going to continue to do it. And we're probably looking at a world, and I don't know how quickly we get there, but we're probably looking at a world where every team is playing at least one game a year overseas. It's just, I think that's where they're headed. It's what they want to do. So whether we like it or not, whether we want more of it, we just better get used to it.
I just see where all of these teams and their cities are having the municipalities fork over hundreds of millions of dollars for brand new stadiums, and then every single year you're taking a home game away from that.
That's not your issue. That's their issue. You don't worry about that. You're worried about things you don't need to be worried about.
I just want to turn on my TV at 9:30 on a a Sunday morning and give me international football.
9:30 really does piss me off as a kick time. But again, if this is what they see as a business model that works, who am I to tell them it's not good for them?
As someone who's up early on Sunday mornings, like, I love the 9:30 game. You just turn it on and start it going. You know, I'm going to usually be up watching the pregame shows anyway, so might as well watch real football. Joshua, I thought, and I mentioned this yesterday, I thought when they expanded the schedule to 17 games, one of the reasons for having an odd number of games was because in the future, everybody was going to be playing an overseas game. So you didn't lose that home game. You still played the equal amount of 8 home games, 8 road games, and then your 1 international. Well, we're blowing past 17. We're going to 18.
Yes.
That's happening soon. I don't understand if this is in your plan to have everybody every year play, all 32 teams play an international game out of the country. Why not have the schedule at an odd number so you could do that? You could keep everybody the same amount of home games, same amount of road games, and everybody's overseas.
Because it's the NFL, they're going to do it regardless. You know, like I think your point is valid, where that structurally makes a lot of sense. They're going to do it anyway, and they're going to have everybody make sure your passports are ready.
Money.
That's it.
We'll do the real truth coming up at 10 o'clock, but Roger Goodell yesterday was asked about officiating, and the Zebras get a lot of flack in every league. From Little League, from your kids' soccer games on Saturday and Sunday mornings to the highest pinnacle of the sport in the NFL. Here's the boss of the NFL talking about his Zebras.
I'm so amazed at how good our officials are. I mean, you know, we spend time all week looking at various angles and still debating it a week later. These guys have to make a split-second decision. And the men and women on our field are incredible. And I think that they've proven over and over again they're really wonderful at what they do. On the other hand, it's a difficult sport to officiate. It's fast. It's quick. And we have to be able to use technology, in my view, to try to prevent the obvious errors.
I'll do this early. NFL officials, wonderful at their jobs. Is that the real truth?
It's hard to argue with what Goodell is saying. I do think it's a more difficult job than people want to say when they're watching games. I still think it can get a lot better. The thing that everybody should be happy about is he said they want to use more technology to at least get the obvious calls right. And I think that is a phenomenal start in the year 2026. Use the technology that you have.
I think one thing that would help the officials is get the damn replay official out of the TV booth, because they're always wrong. So that's just going to create controversy. Like, I can't tell you the last time they put Dean Blandino or Mike Pereira on the screen and they said, you know what, I think this is a fumble and it's going to be called that way. And then it comes back a fumble and it was called that way. They're always wrong. So you're not helping your officials. Plus, we get 100 different views slowed down to a millimeter a second. The game is fast-paced, and these guys are trying to process a lot of things at a high amount of speed. So, of course, you're going to be like, oh, my gosh, that's blatant. Well, we got the ability to go back and watch it in 20 different angles, 30, for 3 minutes at a time. Like, it is a much harder job than...
Yeah, that's where I give them the benefit of the doubt, is we get to watch different angles. We get to watch it slow down speed. Like, of course, you look like a genius in that situation. Bake, I'm with you on the rules analyst, but I think they're just using the guys wrong. The way that they're using them right now, I think it's completely unnecessary. I don't need you to come out and tell me what your verdict is before the call is made. what you can do is you can explain nuances in rules after the call, or you can explain the calls that we don't see very often so the viewer understands what's happening from an officiating standpoint. But in one of those judgment call type situations, I don't need to hear Mike Pereira give me his judgment when the people down on the field might see it a different way. That is what loses the trust of the viewer. But there are instances where you and I see something that happens in a game, and it's like, damn, I haven't seen that happen before. Mm-hmm. Well, drop that guy in, explain it to us, and I think it makes a lot of sense from that standpoint.
I do have a lot of tinfoil takes, and this is one of them, because the networks decide the rules analysts. I think it just became popular with Mike Pereira, and then other networks glommed down and said that's a really good idea to do it. I think the ACC does it really well, where they will show you kind of their command center. And
only on select games, though.
Why is it that? Because you can hear the guys having the discussion about it. And I think that's really good football insight. But I think for the rules analysts, they come on, and if they have a disagreeing opinion, then it gets, it's the Emmanuel Acho conversation. It gets aggregated. And then we're talking about why they gave the Jacksonville Jaguars a second in a divisional round game for the next week.
Right.
When it had an effect on the actual game, but we saw the result of the game. The Buffalo Bills moved on, but you're still talking about that one thing for it. It keeps the NFL in our general consciousness, and I think for the commissioner, he's done a bang-up job with that.
Well, I mean, it's
every single day.
Always going to be that way. And to your point, like, this is the content business. Like, this is not a business that is putting on games for the sake of declaring winners and losers. They're putting on games for the sake of creating content and for discussion throughout the week and for people to interact with different pieces of content. So maybe there is a little bit of that. Maybe they like the disagreement in the booth.
We have leakers that we need to find in the NFL. And then how old is too old to play college football? That's next. Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
A system for every home and every budget at Logan AC and Heat Services. Get a free Trane furnace with the purchase of an air conditioner. And don't forget about our 10-year parts and labor warranty available now. Logan Services.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Your heat seems to be running a lot more than it should. Why? It's because the insulation in your windows has failed. Talk to the pros at Window Nation and get new windows and big savings during Window Nation's Buy 4 Windows, Get 4 free sale. Plus, you could get them with 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. Act now and you get an extra 10% off for Valentine's Day. When your window insulation fails, usually due to old or cheap materials, all of your window's energy efficiency disappears. The result, a house that is cold in the winter and hot in the summer. The worst part is they could have failed years ago and you wouldn't even know about it. Window Nation's windows use top quality materials and seals along with insulated frames. They're so incredibly energy efficient that you'll actually save money on your utility bills. Plus, they're backed with a lifetime warranty, so you won't have to live with broken windows again. Take advantage of Window Nation's Buy 4 Windows, Get 4 free sale and get an extra 10% off for Valentine's Day. Visit windownation.com now for a free consultation.
Start the year moving, not hurting. If joint pain is holding you back, listen up. Hi, I'm Tybus Powell with QC Kinetics. There's a way to get real relief without surgery, without downtime, and without putting your life on pause. Dr. Tesner and the other medical pros at QC Kinetics here in Columbus deliver regenerative treatments that actually help your body repair the areas that are causing you pain. Those achy knees, hips, shoulders, back. Instead of facing an invasive operation that sidelines you for months, these treatments happen right in the office and you go about your day. Simple procedure that can deliver big life-changing results. Skip the pain, skip the invasive surgery. Imagine this instead. You're moving better, stronger, planning the year you actually want. Game-changer regenerative treatment from QC Kinetics. January is supposed to be your clean slate, so make it one. Call now for your free consultation. 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Hey, everybody, it's Berm. Look, the big game is coming up, and that means there's parties, food, drinks, and fun, but that's a recipe for disaster if you're trying to lose weight. That's not the case with Awaken 180. Eat, drink, and enjoy the day knowing you have a strategy to keep the weight off. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
The
The savings are so good at Great Lakes. But have you seen our inventory? With over 1,000 new Hyundais to choose from, there's no need to settle at glakeshyundai.com. Find a new Palisade with the exact options you need, or a new Tucson in that color you have been seeing around town. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with Hyundai Assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile coverage. At Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings and selection are so good.
It's Super Bowl 60. And since we're the official radio home of the Super Bowl, we can say the word Super Bowl and not big game. So we're going to say Super Bowl a lot. Seahawks and Patriots in the Super Bowl. Coverage starts Sunday at 4 on The Fan.
Steve here from USA Insulation. Let me ask you a question. Do you know why your thermos keeps your coffee hot? Because it's insulated with foam. So let us do the same thing and insulate your home with our premium foam for only $99 a month, interest-free. The cold weather's here. There's nothing better than sitting in a warm, comfortable home with your loved ones and keeping that cold, drafty air outside. So make the call today, 529-2440, 529-2440, or usainsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Hey there, it's Bo Bishop here. Valentine's Day is about showing her how much she means to you. And when you're buying jewelry you don't guess, you go with the best. That's why I trust my friends at Diamond Seller. Whether it's a necklace, bracelet, earrings, or something a little more personal, Diamond Seller makes sure you get it right. For nearly 80 years, they've helped guys find the perfect gift with luxury designer collections and expert advice that makes the process easy. And guy to guy, no pressure, no confusion, just great options, honest help. This Valentine's Day, give her something she'll never forget. Diamond Seller, Sawmill Road, Easton Town Center, online at diamondseller.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Ohio Heating and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
After putting up with Dom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
We'll have Uncle Dom coming up at 10:30 today. I want to get his thoughts, Joshua, on society. We're using rodents to decide the seasons, when they will end, or how early they'll end. Or
we were just talking about memes, and the Groundhog Day memes were insane. They were talking about throwing Phil in a crock pot, and I lost it.
He's got one job. Punxsutawney Phil does, and that's to not see your shadow. And yesterday, he did not complete that assignment. Fortunately, we have Buckeye Chuck, who saw his shadow. So we've got dueling, was it marmots? Dueling marmot meteorological takes.
Okay, all right.
So I know Dom will be passionate about that. We'll get it on at 10:30.
Joshua, I believe there's some states in the union where that's a delicacy. So,
oh really?
There's probably some states down south.
All right, so where are we going to try this delicacy then?
I don't know. I don't know if
you guys have fun with that.
They usually just scrape it up off the side of the road, I think.
Man. Hey man, got to get it how you live it.
I remember last week or 2 weeks ago, January kind of melted together for me as one giant travel headache. When you were filling in for me, it was last week when I was in Florida. I think it was the Bill Belichick news came out, how he wasn't going to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility. And the Pro Football Hall of Fame came out and said, we got to stop the leakers. Stop telling people, there's 50 people that are voting for this. You can't tell anybody what your votes are. You can't do any of this. And then it came out today that Robert Kraft's also not going to be in the announcement on Thursday. And like Schefter had it. And like, well, you guys really did a bang up job in a week.
By the way, did you see that graphic? Schefter just had a picture of Robert Kraft and he throws it on a graphic. And the only thing to me that was like, this is not an obit panel, an obituary, was that it didn't have years on it. But just putting the picture up there and then breaking, it left a lot to the imagination this morning.
You've got to be very careful these days, even more so than ever, of what kind of imagery you use in your stories. Last Friday, The Athletic had a report that the College Sports Commission, who I'm sure none of you are really all that familiar with, but they're supposed to be the investigatory arm, or they're supposed to be what the NCAA doesn't want to do, which is make rules and enforce them. But they had sent a letter to LSU saying one of your students is falling out of compliance, one of your student athletes, I love that term, is falling out of compliance with NIL reporting rules. And The Athletic had that report. And in their reporting, their header was an LSU football helmet. And everybody jumped. What's Lane do? I mean, we all kind of know that Lane Kiffin is breaking rules and tampering. And
he's a big cheater.
Everything you're not supposed to do outwardly, he's doing. I mean, and we just love, I think, as a college sports collective, LSU's got great villains. I mean, they had Will Wade. They've got Kim Mulkey. Now Lane Kiffin parachutes in after Brian Kelly. I mean, these are the hateable of college athletics right now. And so we love to see that LSU's breaking the rules. Let's get them. Pitchforks and torches out. Then the Athletic came out like, oh, no, it's not about their football team. And now nobody cares. And LSU had a statement yesterday saying, no, we've cleared it up. It's fine. Nothing to see here. Which I think is the general theme from the College Sports Commission for the next year or so.
I would love to see what their actual process is. Like so they're supposed to report these deals. This was created to prevent teams from circumventing the revenue share cap by just funneling money to players without having a specific business purpose for the NIL deal. So if you're the College Sports Commission, you receive one of these NIL deals. When you look at it, what are you looking for and what are you comparing it against? Because to me, I think that you can roundabout your way into a justification for every one of these deals. How can you tell me that you know the exact value of media appearances for the quarterback of the Ohio State Buckeyes versus media appearances for the quarterback of the Auburn Tigers? They're not the same. So the whole idea of these guys from Deloitte or wherever the hell they work for being able to look at these deals and like, oh, this one's good, this one's bad, like it just felt like a whole bunch of BS to begin with.
You think the people at LSU were sitting back there when they got this email and they're like, it's that damn Dabo. I know it. It's that damn Dabo that did this to us.
Well, he told on Ole Miss, and we saw what happened with that.
I'm going to name names.
I also find it very hard to believe that the College Sports Commission is this efficient at their job, that they can wrap this up and have an answer to this in 2 weeks to be like, yep, this is all on the up and up. I mean, maybe they could. I just have with all of the dysfunction in college athletics right now, I find it very hard to believe that the College Sports Commission, with everything that's on their desk, is so efficient that they can get this, oh, for sure, yep, this is okay. We're all good here.
I mean,
move along.
I know people who are consultants that work for the big firms, and all they want to do is bill hours.
This is that.
That's all they want to do. So I'm not exactly sure efficiency is the name of the game for some of these people. They'll tell you where you're inefficient, but that's not what they're doing. They want to bill hours.
Yahoo Sports' Ross Dellinger reported several programs had similar letters over the last couple of weeks, with many having already been resolved. So great job out of everybody. I'm just going to make a blanket statement and say if you can rent a car, you should not be playing college football anymore. Is that fair?
I have been very emotional about what I'm seeing with collegiate athletics. And the cat who is coming from the NBA and actually played in NBA games wants to come back to college football or college basketball. You're a bum, right? Like that's the end of the deal. And I know the justification is like, oh, he's more valuable in this world and you can't limit somebody's ability to earn money. And I understand the arguments that they're trying to make. But at some point, we have to reconcile what collegiate athletics actually is. And you scoffed at the idea of student athletes, which I think a lot of people are right now. But part of this is like you go from high school, there's a natural matriculation. You go from high school, then you go into college, and then you become a professional at whatever it is in the world that you're getting ready to do. But for most people, you don't go the other way as a way to make money today. You don't go the other way to be able to capitalize because you're not – people go back to school to build skill to then go back out in the world. Like we see that happen, but we don't see people in the real world go back to school because it's more lucrative for them to just sit there, take online classes or whatever they're doing and collect these phony NIL deals. It's so bad. I'm genuinely concerned about what happens to high school recruiting off of this, but there's also this aspect of this ain't how the real world works. And we're not teaching these people the lessons that they need to be prepared to actually thrive in the real world once the fake checks start to go away. And the guy who's coming from the NBA has started to realize that the checks don't always hit. And he's like, what the hell am I going to do? Oh, I'm just going to go back to college and there'll be a check for me over there.
Well, now, especially when you can get a lawyer to take the case for you.
The lawyer's a bum, too.
Those billable hours, like you were talking about, Joshua. Monday, Tennessee quarterback Joey Aguilar filed a lawsuit, his own lawsuit, against the NCAA. This was
Tennessee.
In Tennessee.
Yes.
So this will probably be something that they rule favorably for the Tennessee Volunteers quarterback, whom I would say, if you look at a roster standpoint, the Vols could probably use Aguilar's experience if they want to get back into the college football playoffs. So he's seeking a temporary restraining order against the NCAA, who said, no, you are no longer eligible to compete in college football. Will allow him to play in 2026. His complaint alleges those rules deprive him of the opportunity to earn NIL compensation. He thinks he's worth $2 million as the Volunteers quarterback. And so he's saying, well, I played 2 seasons of junior college, but that shouldn't count towards this. And I think that among many things, like you're seeing with Diego Pavia, who they've got February 10th, I think Pavia and his 25 other plaintiffs are going to hear that ruling. I think that's going to be in federal court. So all of this is going to be adjudicated differently if my basic understanding of this is to be understood.
Yeah.
And none of this is going to be in line. Like, I don't know how one judge is going to say one thing and then the other judge ruling in this Pavia case is going to say something different. Like, feels like you wait. I don't know. It's a mess.
But the UFL training camp starts next week. Get ready. You want to keep playing football, head to the UFL. Go play there.
The Aviators coming up in 2 months.
The other problem with these rulings is we're getting judges. Like, I'm sure the judge that rules on this is going to be a Tennessee booster.
That's a fan.
What's the heck's he going to do? He's going to say, yeah, come on back.
Go Vols.
It's wild to me, but again, like, you've learned that your skill set is not valuable in the real world. So you want to continue to exist in the fake world of kiss your butt college athletics as it is right now. And I just can't get down with that. Like, at some point, you got to grow up. You got to say, I maximized what I could do here, but it's time to leave. And there's no incentive for people to naturally take the progression of moving on.
Super Bowl 60, a must-win game. That's coming up in The Real Truth next. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
Matty Ice is currently bathing himself in creamy jalapeno dip. And I've officially run out of ways to tease this show. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Dr. Mark Levy can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring. Sleep better. Live better.
Cash, moolah, greenbacks dough, Skrilla chips, bread and mo. 2, 5, 10, and 20. 30 big ones. Games aplenty. Cheddar, butter, loot and scratch. Find the letters. Make the match, cause there's many words for cash, no doubt, and many ways to play Cash Word. Check 'em out. Cash Word from Ohio Lottery. It's game time, yo. Cash Word, it's fun to go with millions in prizes, don't you know?
Lottery players are subject to Ohio law and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
During our BOGO sale, select boneless pork tenderloin, General Mills cereal, Sargento cheese, and more are buy one, get one free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Your mornings are jam-packed. So if you're going to add anything, make it your favorite bite from Tim Hortons. Buy any size beverage and add a daily baked donut for $1, a tasty bagel for $2, or a freshly cracked hot breakfast sandwich for just $3. It's the best way to add more to your morning. The 1-2-3 menu, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer in restaurant. Tax extra exclusions and terms apply at timhortons.com/offer-terms.
Everyone needs to have at least one person in their corner in life. When you don't, it's an extremely lonely and frightening place to be. But knowing you have that one person gives you peace and hope. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Since 1988, myself and my firm have been in so many corners for so many clients for so many years. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason, and it's not even close. We fought like hell for you. We fight the bullies, automobile insurance companies, the makers of unsafe products, medical providers who injured or killed their own patients. It has been such an honor and made my life complete. If you ever need us, it's easy. On your mobile device or computer, visit forthepeople.com, and then we get to work 24/7. Whether you're hurt in a car crash, injured on the job, or have questions about your Social Security, we're here for you. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati.
Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
A friend is someone who knows where you came from. Someone who always shows up when you need them. Someone who's there for the good times and the challenging ones. With comprehensive insurance policies backed by award-winning customer service, Shelter Insurance is committed to being there when you need us most. To find your local agent, visit shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Why does it matter to members that Aetna was named a Best Medicare Advantage company by U.S. News & World Report? Because they chose a plan that gives them real support, real people, and real care. We show up on calls with members and doctors' offices when needed. We show up with access to convenient care options and coverage that fits everyday life. We don't show up for awards. We show up for you. And showing up for you is how healthier happens together.
We're hiring at Don's Garage Doors. No experience? No problem. We provide full training, a brand new van, top-of-the-line tools, a gas card, and steady jobs with weekly pay. This isn't just a job. It's a career with real growth, great pay, and job security. Our team members go from training to 6 figures, and we're ready to help you do the same. Don't wait. Apply now at donsgaragedoors.com.
Say goodbye to car care headaches with Carvenience from Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. For only $49, we'll pick up your vehicle, leave you with a rental, and return it fully serviced and spotless. No more juggling your schedule or wasting hours at the shop. Carvenience lets you focus on what matters while we take care of all the rest, making life easier. Schedule your service today at HindererMotorCompany.com.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Listen up. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Dr. Mark Levy's been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results. And now he has an office in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. 2 games remain for the Blue Jackets before the Olympic break. CBJ are in New Jersey tonight, taking on the Blue Devils. Face-off there is 7 o'clock. You can hear it on the Fan with coverage at 6:30. Jackets look to make it 6 straight wins, or 8-1 under head coach Rick Bowness. Jackets are back at Nationwide tomorrow night hosting the Chicago Blackhawks. In the NFL, Super Bowl 60 is Sunday in Santa Clara. The Seahawks are 4.5-point favorites over the Patriots. We'll have the Super Bowl on the Fan with coverage Sunday after Ohio State men's hoops. Today in Cleveland, the Browns will officially introduce Todd Monken as their new head coach, and the Hall of Fame class of 2026 will be announced on Thursday. Bill Belichick will not be a part of that class, and Patriots owner Robert Kraft will also reportedly be left out in his first year of eligibility. This update is sponsored by High Bank Distillery, locally inspired dishes and award-winning cocktails. Visit highbankco.com to make your reservation. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
If you love a good pie analogy,
think of the cap as a pie, and once you take out one piece, there's less left for the next guy.
then this is the radio show for you. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Yes, it is. Eric Reeser, Joshua Perry, Ryan Baker rolling with you on this Tuesday edition of the program. As the well-coiffed update anchor said, you've got Super Bowl 60 Sunday at 6:30. That's when it's supposed to kick off. Seahawks 4.5-point favorites. Yeah, we can say Super Bowl because we have it for you on the Fan.
Yeah.
It's an NBC joint, so it will not be on 10 TV.
It's
we love NBC and the Peacock.
I used to work for a network where we had to do the big game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hated it. Hated it.
It's one of those things with a lot of the advertisements. They can't say Super Bowl. They got to say the big game preview, coming up for the big game. The one thing I've been noticing more and more, because now all of the streaming services I watch have ads. Like Amazon's got it, Netflix has it. Like I feel like a very impoverished person because I've got now advertisements in the streaming service that I'm paying for. Are all of the Super Bowl preview ads.
Sure.
Like I think it's Ben Stiller for Instacart, and he's with, I forget the other singer's name, and it's like they're teasing a Super Bowl commercial. I'm like, that's why are we doing that?
Well, you got to make sure you're ready for the commercial. We'll spend the money.
Get the best bang for your buck here, Reese.
I think that's to make you watch what we spent the money on.
You're not going to move me to Instacart.
You're not an Instacart guy?
I'm not an order my food guy. I'm going to go pick it up.
Oh, okay.
I want to see you make it, and then I want to actually touch it.
I'm the same. I can't pay $20 for $12 worth of Taco Bell. It's just not in my nature. I can't do it. I don't even really get pizza delivered anymore.
It's interesting.
I plan out like where I'm going to be driving, and I'll find a spot in between, and I'll order it and just pick it up on the way home.
I'm done ordering Chipotle.
What happened?
Well, so the Chipotle that I went to, I ordered a burrito, and I go to pick it up, and my wife always gets on me. She's like, you need to look in the bag to make sure everything's right, and I didn't. So I drive home, and it's not a very far drive, but I drive home, and I open up what was supposed to be a burrito, and it was a bowl, and they put the stickers on the order aheads. It was a bowl, and then I opened the bowl, and it's got beans in it, and I shared with the people last week, I'm allergic to beans, so I couldn't eat it at all, and the sticker had my correct order on it, so I take it back to the restaurant, and I'm like, hey, I did this online order, my order was wrong, and the manager, instead of being like, oh, how can we get this right, he was like, can I look at your sticker? Sure. And so I have vowed to not eat at that Chipotle ever again, but I'm never ordering Chipotle again. And my wife got Chipotle last night, and she's like, oh, do you want me to get you something? No, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to go back yet.
I have a few places like that. Actually, a company where I really enjoy some of their clothes, but I've had 2 bad experiences with the ordering process. And it wasn't that they messed up, because things mess up, but it's how you react when you do that. And both times they seemed like they didn't give a flying rip, so I will no longer be giving you my money. I have a few places like that.
Just between us three, I did a Saturday spectacular with Tyvis Powell for a great many years, and every Saturday, like clockwork, he would get something delivered. I'd always think in the back of my head, you bum.
So Tyvis is Mr. Delivery. He had
every morning. It's Chick-fil-A that gets somehow dropped off to
Bojangles.
Bojangles this morning. Yep.
And I took a picture of him because he's the plate police. He likes to tell me when I'm not eating well. But here he is smacking a Bojangles in a break. Whole sandwich gone in 4 minutes. But he is big on the delivery apps. They are big deliveries over there at the Powell residence.
I have known Tyvis for a little more than 3 years now. And as long as I've known him, he's going to lose weight and get in shape. But yet every morning the breakfast delivery comes, and it's not like First Watch where it's just
no
eggs
parfait.
And, it's
fried chicken sandwich for breakfast.
I mean, I'm not knocking him. I'm okay with it, but
we'll get 10 TV's Dom Tiberi on at 10:30. We'll have Jody Shelley on at 11:30. Talk some Blue Jackets with 2 games left before the Olympic break. Right now, we'll do the real truth.
Bishop and Friends present The Real Truth.
Sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years.
So Super Bowl 60 this Sunday. They did Patriots media session yesterday. Pat's head coach, Mike Vrabel, in his first year in New England as a Browns fan. It's just very unfair that he gets to do it in year 1. But they've got a roster that they spent money on, and they got a quarterback that can go. And it's nice to see Travion Henderson in this position as a rookie. But Vrabel was asked only the most important question yesterday.
Is this a must-win game?
A must-win? Yeah, I think every time we go out, it is a must-win game. I mean, it's kind of the attitude that I've always taken in the National Football League.
Super Bowl 60, a must-win game. Is that the real truth?
I mean, it was a great answer from Vrabes, right? Like, every game I play is a must-win. That's the attitude I like. Is a Super Bowl ever a must-win? Like, has a coach ever been or a team ever been in a situation where if they don't win the game, it's like dire? And I get it. There are some rosters that are built to win. There are some coaches that have the pressure of not having been in that situation. And, it feels like they need it. Nobody ever really needs to win the Super Bowl once they get there. So, no, it's not a must-win game.
I feel like this might be the most real truth question we've had where both answers are right.
Yeah.
Because this is the ultimate must-win game because it's the end of your season, right? That's it. There's no more season. So if you want to make your ultimate goal, which is winning the Super Bowl, absolutely, it's a must-win. But in the Patriots case, I feel like they're playing with house money here. They were 4-13 last year. They're in year number 2 of Drake May. They really haven't even started building a roster around him yet and giving him weapons on the outside and pieces. So It sure feels like the Patriots are gambling with the casino's money right now. And if they win this, they were way ahead of schedule. And I'll tell you what, you never know, because we would have thought Joe Burrow would have been back here by now. You would have thought Dan Marino would have gotten there again after making it in his second season. So you never know. But it sure feels like the Patriots are here to stay for the next handful of years.
I mean, they were 4-13 the year before the year they were 4-13. Come on. Like, just at some point, can I just say that's fair? I mean, but the NFL scriptwriters got it right this season. I mean, if you think about the Seattle Seahawks, they're probably supposed to be third in the NFC West.
You know how difficult it was during training camp that day where you'd walk in and they'd slap the script on your desk?
I bet.
I mean, it was like
you fumbling through that.
Oh, dude. I mean, it was
an emotional experience.
Like, how am I supposed to get through the playbook and through this thick script? But, we had to figure it out.
That's why it's so hard to be a rookie in that league, I guess. The Columbus Blue Jackets will be buyers at the trade deadline. Is that the real truth?
Bake, you want to go on this one?
Well, I feel like they're going to. JP, I've already said, I just get the feeling that Big Don is going to swing big here. Especially, they can get these last two easily tonight. New Jersey's down, probably playing without Hughes, who's their best player. Chicago got some talent with Connor Bedard, but one of the worst teams in the league. If they go into this break on a 7-game winning streak and having won 10 of their last 11, there's not a lot of games to evaluate coming out of this thing before the trade deadline. So yeah, I think they're in position to strike. I think Don Waddell wants to give this fan base something they've been clamoring for a long time, which is another playoff appearance.
Yeah, it feels like they should be buyers. The question for me, I guess, is who and how big of a splash do you think you need to make? Because the way that they're winning right now, and to your point, Bake, if they can continue this for the last two games before they hit the break, kind of have a reset, where they have two guys that are going to be playing in the Olympics. It's not like they've got a bunch of guys who are going to be out there so they can catch their breath. How much do you want to disrupt what you've been able to build over this last stretch? So I think who is probably the most important part of what you do if you become buyers, but I think that they should.
And I think that's what, last season where the Jackets were in a similar position standings-wise. I think they were in a wild card spot for that Stadium Series game, and they were jockeying with the Red Wings, who they hosted at Ohio Stadium. But I think for Don and Dean last year at the trade deadline, it was we don't want to mess up the chemistry in the room. And I thought that was not the best way to go about it, but that was how they did it. We know how the season went. And so for this year, I do think you want to make a big splash. So I don't know if this is the real truth. I think it should be the real truth.
So unfortunately tonight, Philadelphia and Washington are both playing each other. And Pittsburgh and New York, the New York Islanders are both playing each other. So two of the teams that you're fighting in this are going to get 2 points tonight, some way or another. Now, if you're scoreboard watching, I think you'd want the Hurricanes to beat Ottawa tonight and Tampa to beat Buffalo to help you in that wild card race. But the teams in the Metro playing each other. Tomorrow, the Jackets are one of the few Eastern Conference teams on the schedule. So you've really got a chance to make up some points here the next two nights.
Taking that 5-game win streak into New Jersey tonight, then you'll hopefully come back to Nationwide tomorrow on a 6-game winning streak. Yeah, you've got Z and Elvis Merzlikins will be in the Olympics that start for the hockey next Wednesday. A big change in how you're going to consume sports content. That's coming. We'll discuss it next. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place. And today, we're in my showroom to demonstrate how efficient our windows are.
Whew, it's really cold in here, Wilson.
We call that eco-friendly organic air conditioning.
Drafty windows are a major problem for energy bills and comfort. It's one of the biggest reasons why people get Pella windows.
It really is a problem, Leslie. I'm wearing 3 coats right now, looking like a beanbag with legs.
Get the windows that can completely change the look and feel of your home at PellaColumbus.com.
Do you want free internet forever? Yeah, we thought so. That's why Spectrum is giving you just that. Free fiber-powered internet forever when you switch and get 4 mobile lines from Spectrum. No internet bills, no taxes, no late fees. Just fast fiber-powered internet. Call 833-901-0178 to find out how. But hurry, This deal won't last forever. Once more, 833-901-0178 or visit spectrum.com/free forever to learn more.
It's a new year. Ready for a fresh start or career reboot? At My Computer Career, prep for a more recession-resistant future in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, in months, not years, including AI. Whether you're starting out or switching careers, no prior training is needed. Attend school online from home or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu to take the free career evaluation today. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Hey, it's Anthony. So I was recently asked how I've been doing in my personally fit arch supports from the Good Feet store. And I paused and I said, you know what? Pretty darn good. Because it reminded me what I was dealing with a couple years ago. My personal journey. I had plantar fasciitis, that horrible heel pain. If I was on my feet for a while, my lower back would be on fire. And now, honestly, none of that. Zero issues with my feet since I started wearing them. I have my Good Feet arch supports in every day. I feel supported. I feel aligned. And now that I feel better, it's made all the difference. I want to work out more. I want to go out more. Just be more active. I'm telling you, over the last couple of years, my health, my energy, my quality of life has all been affected in a really positive way. They've really helped me keep the pain away. The guys ask me all the time, do I really have them in today? Yes, I do. And I'll take my shoes off upon request to show you. Go take the free test walk. The Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway and Stringtown Road in Grove City. Get started at goodfeet.com.
No one plans to get into an accident, but when it happens, we strive in making life easier for you. This is Justin Hinderer. The Hinderer Motor Company Collision Center is ICAR certified and certified by many manufacturers to provide the best quality repair available. All of our repairs come with a lifetime warranty. We have our own 24/7 towing service so you never have to wait. Plus, we offer on-site rental cars for every lifestyle. At Hinderer Motor Company, we love what moves you.
All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Do it now. The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
Do you have an oak tree in your yard? The Ohio Chapter International Society of Arboriculture is committed to advancing responsible tree care practices while preventing a fungal disease called oak wilt. They remind those who own and manage oak trees the best time to prune is November to early March. To find out more, there are over 1,000 qualified tree experts in Ohio. To find an ISA-certified arborist in your area, visit treesforohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Scattered snow showers today, mainly south of I-70, looking at accumulations. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with highs in the low 30s. For tonight, mostly cloudy with our lows in the single digits again, and then mostly sunny on Wednesday with daytime highs topping out in the mid to low 20s. I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 weather impact forecast.
T-Bone and Tybus are everything you want in a delicious breakfast. Lots of empty calories, no nutritional value.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan. They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And Bishop and Friends is proudly sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler, for almost 80 years. Eric Reeser, Joshua Perry, Ryan Baker rolling with you until noon today. Bo's chugging emergency, hopefully has an IV hooked up, so he looks to rest his voice. If you were listening yesterday, it kind of dipped as we were going through the show, so we're still trying to figure out who patient zero is, whether it's in the Bishop household or one of the kids he's got coaching, and the 4 or 5 different athletic things that he does on a given week.
These young people, man, the kids.
Petri dishes.
They are.
Yeah. Have you had anything go through your household yet? Are you guys so far so good?
We did.
Okay.
It was something. And it's funny because the kid, like James, my toddler, he's almost 2. And he was feeling bad for a couple days. And then he was sick for the rest of it, but he was operating as normal. which means he's touching everything and he's sneezing in your face and he wants to, kiss you and all the different things. And that's how it really happens. And then my wife got sick. And for like 2 days, she couldn't get out of bed. She was just cooked. So we had it. I'm glad it was early rather than later, but we were doing some dodging around the young people.
Feels like January, February, and March. That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
It's survive in advance even before you get to the NCAA tournament.
For real.
This is obviously a big day up in Berea. How much do we think Bo's going to be locked in and on everything going on with the Todd Monken press conference? And
I'm sure he'll have it on. I don't know how many reruns of Yellowstone. Maybe, I was thinking like what he would be doing on a day off, and I part of me thought like maybe he'd just fire up The Sopranos.
Oh, yeah.
Or discover one of there's a couple of new shows out there that I think are worth binging. Someone in the YouTube chat had said they're watching The Sopranos for the first time, and I think, Joshua, that might be one, if not the show I'd want to have that experience back again. I mean, there are just some shows out there that like, man, I'm really jealous that he gets to do that experience again.
For the first time.
How good that show was, right?
Yeah. I haven't finished The Sopranos. I started... So I've been working my way through it over the course of a while, but I understand exactly what you're getting at because like early on, it's slow burn, but like you start to really feel some certain things watching that. I bet you Bo's the type of guy who, if he's got to take a nap because he's not feeling well, he'll pop the AirPods in so he can subconsciously listen to the press conference. He's not going to miss anything.
Reese, the first thing I thought of when you said Yellowstone was Sopranos with Bo, because Dylan is rewatching The Sopranos right now, and I don't believe I've had this conversation with you. I am actually 4 episodes into The Sopranos right now. I've never seen it.
Oh, so you're doing it.
So I'm on. We've watched 4 episodes of it now, and so Bo knew that him and I talked about it. So I thought maybe that would be front and center in his mind, and that's what's being watched on repeat today.
You're 4 episodes into the first season for the first time. I think their pilot episode might be one of the best pilots of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is as good as television as you get to watch. In the YouTube chat, Trev from Delaware, we were talking about Mike Vrabel answering the question, the age-old question of is the Super Bowl must win. And he says that question is asked in jest, FYI. I heard the morning show talking about how dumb of a question it is. And Trev, I don't necessarily know if it's jest. I think it's one of those things where the reporter needs him to say that line of, every game we enter is must win. That's how we approach things. I mean, the ultimate kind of coach speak from Mike Vrabel, but he just kind of needs him to say it so he has the quote in print, or he needs that viral moment, because that was one of the most, I think, viewed quotes from yesterday's festivities.
If I was a coach, I think I would go the opposite direction.
Okay.
No, we don't have to win it. We would love to win it.
We're here. It's great.
We don't have to do a damn thing.
Care.
These guys are still going to get paid whether they win or lose.
As someone who has been a participant in press conferences a little bit, I feel like that's a lazy question. There's so many things you could do with this that I just feel like maybe they called on him and somebody before him took his question. Sure. He's like, oh, no, I don't know what to ask. Is this a must win? Like, it just doesn't. There's so many other. Of course, it's a. Like, what's he going to say?
We got to go back and see if this is something that's asked on an annual basis, because it might just be a bit. We do bits here on radio.
Yeah.
This could be a bit.
That's a good point out of you, because I wonder if I'm sent every year if I don't have something similar as a fan of radio bits.
Yeah. And you do get people that are different kind of media and different people at the Super Bowl and Radio Row and all of that. So
Super Bowl 60 is going to be on NBC. And Baker, you put this in front of me. Starting this past Sunday, NBC is going to have live sports scheduled for all but 2 of the next 51 Sunday nights. They're at least January 17th of next year. 2026 NFL season is going to mark 20 years since the first ever Sunday night football game on the Peacock, which was Colts and Giants. That was a Manning Brothers game from September 10th of 2026. The 2 exceptions in that 51 Sunday night span are July 12th, no Sunday night Major League Baseball games, then August 23rd, the night of the MLB Little League Classic, which will continue to air on ESPN. So no over-the-air network, much less one like NBC, has ever made such an investment in the live sports programming on what's still the most watched night of the week, which is an incredible thing, but not a surprising thing.
No, I mean, it's been intriguing over the last handful of years watching them acquire media rights. Big Ten package getting more involved in college football. And then, of course, you had NBA and WNBA, which are going to do the All-Star game as well. Legendary February is what they're calling it around NBC with the Super Bowl, Winter Olympics, and All-Star. Put baseball in the mix. And then even with us, we get one of those Sundays. We've got a Notre Dame, Wisconsin at Lambeau to start the college football season.
Week 0?
I think it's week 1.
Okay.
So we'll do a Saturday and a Sunday. So they've figured out one of the things, which is true, that people love live sports. And then the other thing is, what the hell are you doing on a Sunday night? Like, what else is there to watch? So very intriguing there that they've basically dominated the Sunday monopoly.
I didn't realize that Sunday night, maybe I should have, the Sunday night is the most watched night of TV. So that makes sense because nothing rates like sports does and live sports. So smart on NBC's part to do this. Also, those 2 dates, Reese, where you mentioned that they're not having live sports, at least scheduled right now. It just so happens that Caitlin Clark has 2 WNBA games on those nights, and we know how Caitlin Clark in games she participates in rates. She also is part of NBC's Sunday night basketball coverage. She joined that last Sunday and is a part of that. So it kind of sounds like NBC might be leaning towards putting more sports on those 2 nights.
And then we had talked about this I don't know how long we've been going on about this and kind of the slow death of the RSN model. But as expected, Main Street Sports, who operates FanDuel, lost yesterday the 9 remaining MLB teams that they had as their offering, including the Cincinnati Reds. So the Reds announced on Monday, under a new agreement, fans in the team's home television territory will be able to watch all locally distributed Reds games via cable and satellite providers or stream digitally on Reds.tv without blackouts. So they're doing the exact same thing that the Cleveland Guardians are doing and just offering it a la carte or offering a season package. No blackouts, no having to deal with any of that messy RSN nonsense. And the other MLB teams that were part of this are going in a similar direction. Some might even go into the offering of over terrestrial and just say, if you have the rabbit ears, here's our content. And I think for baseball and other leagues like the NBA and the NHL, who also have similar deals with Main Street that could crumble in the next couple of months, the better available your product is, the more popular your product will be in the future.
It's something that I've seen up close. I worked for an RSN for the last handful of years, and then I went from an RSN that exploded, Bally Sports, and then the company that I worked for was a production house. So we took everything in-house and we went streaming only and did shows in the internet that nobody watched. And then that company morphed into an RSN that exists in Chicago called the Chicago Sports Network, and that's when I knew it was time to come back home. And what CHSN ended up doing was they launched over the air. But the problem was, like, you know, if you have YouTube TV, right, like you get all of the channels, but you don't need an antenna to watch NBC or CBS or Fox or ABC. It's just on your YouTube TV. People had to go out and buy and install antennas. And we had PSAs that we would run on the network. And people would just be whining and pissing and moaning about it because they're just like, this is outside of what my typical habits are. And nobody wants to change that. And the reason they had to launch that way is the same reason why we look at Rutgers and Maryland as terrible additions to the Big Ten Conference is the cable companies would not put them in the tier that they wanted to be. They had to be in the premium tier because nobody wants to pay for this stuff because you can get in and out of games. These are teams that have long seasons. Like, there's just so many games. They're on different places anyway. You have to be an absolute diehard to say that you need what they're offering. And so the idea that a lot of these companies came in and they were in a place where they were automatically in the tiers. So they got the cable buy money anyway. So they were able to overbid on the media rights, which they've done. And now that cable people are cord cutting and they can't get in the tiers they want to, there's no money coming in. It is one of the most insane business models. And so teams, I think, want to bring their games back. They want to put them in a place where people can watch and find them. And part of the problem with that is people just aren't equipped to produce games. Like, you have to have a partner going into it for a lot of these teams as quickly as they'll need to turn it around. So I'll be curious to see what the solutions are, but the RSN thing is completely dead. There's no way to make money on it.
And at 11:17, we'll try to connect all of this discussion with the G5 and their future in college football. But coming up in 2 minutes, Dom Tiberi, Tuesdays with Tiberi, Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner of Don's Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Over 90,000 five-star reviews don't happen by accident. They happen by putting people first. Fixing your garage doors is what we do. From repairs to upgrades, call Don's Garage Door Service today.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty.
Wait, what? Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
Cash, moolah, greenbacks dough, Skrilla chips, bread and mo. 2, 5, 10, and 20. 30 big ones. Games aplenty. Cheddar, butter, loot and scratch. Find the letters. Make the match, cause there's many words for cash, no doubt. Many ways to play cash word. Check 'em out. Cash word from Ohio Lottery. It's game time, yo. Cash word, it's fun to go with millions in prizes, don't you know? Lottery players are subject to Ohio law and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest? How to win? Or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Bishop and Friends present Tuesdays with Tiberi.
Eric Reeser, Ryan Baker, the pride of Olentangy, Joshua Perry. Going out now to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Bring on Uncle Dom. Dommy, one woodchuck says 6 more weeks of winter. The other says early spring. Are you Punxsutawney Phil or Buckeye Chuck?
I'm neither one of those rodents. I don't like rodents. I'm going with the rhino that at the Milwaukee Zoo picked early spring. I'm done with the rodents. I'm going with the rhinoceroses.
But even the one, Buckeye Chuck, that picked the early spring, so he's on board with the rhino. So 2 of 3 animals, not bad.
Well, but the tiebreaker could be the fish, the bass out of Buckeye Lake. He predicted more winter, but he might have been at Papa Boo's and maybe swimming in a little bit of the special water.
I was about to say, might he be drinking? How does a bass predict the spring and the winter?
No, I am telling you. I am overly over this. I guess they're going to get more snow now south of 70. I am over it. I am tired of being cold all the time. I'm tired of my car looking like it's just filthy dirty from all the salt. I'm tired of not being able to get down a road because there's just one little area that's been plowed. It's crazy. This stuff's not melting. I've had enough of it. It needs to go away. And I think I speak for everyone that's listening to us right now. We've had it. We're not taking any more. This snow needs to get the heck out of here.
Well, I hope the weather gods were listening to that impassioned plea there, because I tend to agree with you. I want to keep you fired up here. And I was yelling into the microphone a little bit earlier about adults, grown people who have made money as professionals trying to re-enter collegiate athletics. Dom, how insane is that to you?
Everything with college athletics is off the charts right now, Joshua. I mean, you think about the money that is being spent with NIL. You think about the free agency that is basically taken over the college game. And you look at like, hey, I've got some eligibility left. What are we doing? I mean, unfortunately, the ship has sailed. It's not coming back. And I've said it before, the genie is out of the bottle, and he is like, are you kidding me? I'm never going back. They smashed the bottle. And I don't know where any of this ends, But, especially in the case of football, it is the professionalism of it. Joshua, you missed out on it. I mean, you could have been getting paid, and it's crazy where it ends. I don't know, because the adults in the room can't agree on anything. They can't agree. The SEC and the Big Ten can't agree on if they want to have a 16 or 24 team playoff. The SEC, by the way, had better figure some things out, because they are in decline big time. The Texases, the Oklahomas, those type schools, I think the Georgia will be okay. But, the Alabamas and that's why Nick Saban got out. He saw what was going on. And I don't know where all this is going to end, but at some point you're going to need rules.
Dom, Ohio State, we've seen they've handled it pretty well on the football side of things in this ever-evolving world of college sports. Maybe not so well in basketball, but some of the other sports are doing well. Wrestling is doing good. Men's tennis is doing good. You're seeing a lot of success there, and Ohio State prides itself on having 36 sports. How long do you think they'll be able to continue that and still be successful at the major sports like football and basketball and women's basketball?
Well, I think what they need to do, and I think the day is coming where football is going to be taken out of the mix and it's going to be its own separate thing. Intercollegiate athletics are amazing, and I love the wrestling program. I love the tennis program and everything they built here. But football, and to a certain case, basketball, with the interest it generates, it's totally different. And so I think going forward, back in the old days, the football team paid for all the different sports they had here, and they gave money back to the general fund. I don't know how that all those numbers are shaken out now when they're paying players and that money. The way Ohio State set it up, they've got 4 programs that are now getting money to pay the athletes in football, men's basketball, women's basketball, and I think wasn't the 4th one women's volleyball. I think that's it. But I don't know. I just think I think that you got to get football out of the mix. I think there's going to be a situation where some of these sports may not be scholarship sports anymore. They may end up being, a walk-on. I don't know. They got some hard things to figure out going forward. And, I don't envy, Ross Bjork having to make some of these decisions he's going to have to make. But, he and President Carter are on board. They want to stay with the 36 teams. So I think the biggest athletic program in the country, and they do succeed in so many sports. And I think it's great. I think one of the things you got to remember is Ohio State's an amazing university. And if you want to excel in athletics, if you want to excel in a sport like wrestling, you come here. Tennis, what Ty Tucker's done, is there a better program? I mean, obviously they have their competitors, but what they have done here has been absolutely amazing.
We got Uncle Dom on the horn, the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Dommy, what do you think of the job that Ryan Day has done in this offseason, navigating the transfer portal, roster retention, and the hiring of Arthur Smith as the Buckeyes' new offensive coordinator?
Well, first of all, I think Arthur Smith is a home run. I think he is another just a veteran of the game that he's bringing in with NFL experience. For the kids that want to play at the next level, they're going to be coached by a guy that just spent the last 17 years in the NFL. He was the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons for 3 years. I mean, this guy's a big-time coach. And for Ryan to be able to, get another one like Matt Patricia, I think this is just wonderful. And if I'm a kid, I want to come play for these guys because these guys know what it takes to play at the next level. I think as far as the transfer portal, the way he handled it, well, the proof's in the pudding. Let's see if they got the right guys. I mean, he made the effort because that's what you got to do. I mean, the game has changed. We saw what happened. He actually set the standard a year before when he won the national title with an older team. You think about Will Howard. I mean, that guy could have been in the NFL. He came and played a year here. You look at the guys like J.T. Tuimoloau and Jack Sawyer, all the adults that they had that could have been in the league but came back and played another year. They had an old team. And, we saw what Indiana did. Don't make any mistake. Miami was an old team. And so that seems to be the hot way to do it now, get older. And I think going forward, until maybe there's changes made or whatever, you're going to see recruiting. You're still going to go after the 5-star players. You're still going to go after the Jeremiah Smiths. Retention's a problem. You can only keep so many of them, especially when you have to go to the portal and try to find these veteran players that can supplement your football team. I don't know. They're going to end up with 20 out of the portal this year. And I think those numbers can increase as they go, because especially when you're looking for linemen, you want to get those guys that can come in and be an impact. But retention's always important. Ryan's talked about that, but the game is changing too.
Certainly a lot of changes to the game. I want to fast forward you to Sunday. Dom, what is a proper way to watch the Super Bowl?
I'm going to watch it and think about the Buckeyes that are involved. That's so cool. I'm so happy for Vrabes because, I covered him when he played for Coach Cooper, and this guy wears scarlet and gray, and he believes scarlet and gray, and I'm just excited for him. I think about Trey Henderson, and you got 3 Buckeyes tied to the Patriots, and then of course you got Jackson Smith and Jigba with Seattle. I'm just looking forward to it, and I hope Vrabes wins the Super Bowl. Nothing against Jackson Smith or Seattle, but I'm rooting for Vrabes because he's a good guy, and I don't know. I just love listening to him talk. He's a no-nonsense kind of guy, and, they were asking him, I don't know if you saw the news conference the other day, and they were asking him about, wearing white uniforms because they're the home team. They got the pick, and they went with the white. And he goes, I don't know. They said, we're the home team. We get a pick. The guys like white, so we went with white. And the reporter goes, well, you're also 5-0 in white. And he goes, yeah, there you go. And I hope the Tooth Fairy comes tomorrow night, too. So, but that's Braves.
All right, Dom, stay warm out there. We appreciate the time this morning. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, boys, talk to you. Tell Uncle Bo to get better. Tell him to drink a whiskey and lemon. That'll help his voice.
All right, he comes to us courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Yeah, Buckeye Lake had Benny the Bass and the Milwaukee Zoo because their woodchuck or their groundhog died in 2023. They went to a rhino.
They didn't get another groundhog.
They just didn't have another groundhog.
What are we doing?
What kind of zoo is this?
What are we doing? Couldn't catch a groundhog, but let's grab a rhino.
Look, you play with the roster that you've got. So props to the Minneapolis Zoo there. Thing or not a thing next. Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File in the Credit Karma app.
This is the Daily Show with Coach Jake Diebler, brought to you by Encova Insurance. You get a game that had 82 points scored in Wisconsin. What were some of the things offensively, Jake, that kind of led to the way that you're able to get that kind of a total?
I thought we attacked the paint really well. We were able to get some looks early in the clock. That was a big part of our game plan. And, we had some guys step up and make some shots and got bench production, which was, especially there in the first half, which was really important.
Okay, we have another comment in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the court. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. Basketball is full of challenging shots, and life can be too. With Encova, you don't have to do it alone. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile, get it done teams, the achieve more together teams, and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
Amari Bonham with 18 points and almost double-figure rebounds in the game at Wisconsin. Is this just another example, Jake, and we've asked you about this a number of times before, of him continuing to grow his talent?
Well, I think what we're seeing is a player who's built for the moment. You know, this time of year, you want to see guys raise their level, and he's a guy who's showing he can do that. So his approach, the consistency at which he operates, sets him up to be successful. And I thought he was a really bright spot of the Wisconsin game, just his toughness, his ability to be productive, and just really played a really well-rounded game.
Is he getting physically stronger?
Yeah, he's shown tremendous strength, physically, growth, and I think from a movement standpoint, he's become a more efficient mover. And listen, you got to have that in this league. You got to be a strong physical player, and he certainly embodies that.
Okay, this is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag Buckeyes Care.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Tri-State Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Tri-State Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 2 convenient locations in the area to serve you in Hilliard and Westerville.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, so if I have this right, Joshua, the Buckeye Lake Benny the Bass says early spring.
Okay.
The Milwaukee Zoo's Rhino says early spring. Buckeye Chuck, Marion's Finest, says early spring. It's only Punxsutawney Phil predicting 6 more weeks of winter. Okay. Three of 4 ain't bad.
Yeah, I guess I got to get back to this idea of the Rhino and how we got here.
Their groundhog Gordy died in 2023.
And there was just not a second groundhog that they could muster up. So, or how did they get to the point where it's like we're going to go from groundhog to rhino?
Since that day that Gordy, their beloved groundhog, died in 2023, the zoo has tapped other animals to serve as the predictor on Groundhog Day.
Right on. Does it say the other animals in there?
I haven't found the other animals.
Okay.
I'll find out before the end of the program. That'll be one of the 3 things.
All right.
Because I'm also looking at Benny the Bass, and I should have showed you the picture of it, but they've got him in a fish tank. And on one side of it says early spring. On the other side, it says more winter. And so Benny says early spring was just the side of the tank he swam to.
Doesn't feel scientific at all.
It's good enough for me.
Thing or not a thing?
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
On Monday, the Ohio High School Athletic Association announced state track and field meet. Their state track and field meet will be the Jesse Owens Track and Field State Championships moving forward. The meet's held at Jesse Owens Memorial Stadium, which opened in 2001 on Ohio State's campus. At East Cleveland Tech, Owens won 9 OHSAA state meet events over his junior and senior seasons in 1932 and in 1933. He established 7 state records. The OHSAA also released the schedule for the state meet, which has been expanded from 3 to 5 divisions. It'll be held over 4 days, June 4th through the 7th of 2026. Thing or not a thing?
This is a big thing for me. I feel like it's a thing that should have already been done. I participated in that meet as a high schooler my sophomore and junior year. I enrolled early at Ohio State, so didn't have a senior season in track. And then I've also coached athletes who have participated in this meet. It's one of my favorite things. Track was my first love, so I already have an affinity for it. But it also felt obvious to me that you have one of the best, most historic track and field figures, an Olympian who won medals, basically defeating the Nazis and racism over in Germany in his time. I think it would be the right time to go ahead and honor Jesse Owens by naming the state track and field championship after him.
Yeah, this is a major thing, a very cool thing. And Joshua, kind of like you, it's kind of surprising that this hasn't happened before now, because this is, arguably the most famous track and field athlete in the history of the world, in Jesse Owens. And he competed in this event, one of the best to ever do it. So, yeah, this is a really cool thing. It's cool that it's the Jesse Owens field where they do all the track and field at Ohio State, and that's where the OHSAA has this competition. The track is one of the ones that I've never been able to be a part of with the broadcasting, because I'm always at baseball or softball those weekends. But any high school state championship weekend is really awesome, and a very cool thing here that is named after Jesse Owens now.
It's something that we've talked about doing in the summer months, a Greatest Ohioan bracket. And I don't necessarily care what region, what seed Jesse Owens is. I think he comes out on top.
Yeah.
I've already, by the way, Reese, because we talked about this last offseason, I've already started compiling names in our different categories for the best Ohioan bracket.
It is a bit that we've talked about. I think we should pay off on that this summer, Joshua. I'll put you both on the spot. The 1 seeds.
So this is if you're doing it geographically, you have an issue. You can't put Jesse and LeBron in the same part. Well, they have to be on opposite sides of the bracket.
So I think it was going to be, which is a shame because they would be. I think we were going to do athletes, war heroes, political, maybe war heroes and political figures together, then entertainers, like actors and things like that. And then the other one is probably just anyone else, like John Glenn, Neil Arnold, things like that. So
I feel like John Glenn's a 1 seed.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so
this will be. I want to be here when you guys do it. I want some input.
Then we're going to do it, even without Bo's permission. But I get the feeling he would be on board.
I'll just ask Uncle Bo. He'll be all right.
He's just got to feel better, and then we'll pitch it to him. Talking with Ryan Russillo on his Barstool Sports podcast, Todd McShay sounds like a big fan of the quarterback potential in next year's NFL draft.
2027, if it's not the best, it'll go down as one of the 2 or 3 best quarterback drafts, and maybe overall drafts. Certainly in my time doing this, but I think probably in the common draft era that goes back to the 60s. From Arch to Dante Moore to Lenora Sellers to Brandon Sorsby, I think who a lot of people are sleeping on, to C.J. Carr, to Maeva, the quarterback at USC. There's a chance we had 6 and 12 picks in 2024. There could be 8 first-rounders next year. It's that loaded.
Thing or not a thing?
All right, so first off, I'll say I'm a big fan of Todd McShay, the McShay Show. They do a great job of talking college football, but then putting the draft perspective on it all year. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, give a shout there. This is absolutely not a thing. And the reason why is because we did the same thing this past offseason. We literally did the same thing. Oh, it was Arch Manning and Cade Klubnik and Drew Aller and Lenoris Sellers. And you could just go down the list. And the one name that wasn't even in there was Fernando Mendoza, who's going to be the first quarterback taken in this draft. So I get it. It feels like this could happen, but it's not a thing because I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's not a thing to me because, as you just mentioned, you never know. You thought that Arch was going to be the number one pick coming into this draft. Well, now he's pushed back to next year's draft. I think Arch, I think Dante Moore, I think Lenoris Sellers, I think C.J. Carr all have potential. I'm not a big fan of Brennan Sorsby or Jaden Maiava. There's one name in here that the quarterback play he doesn't have, who I think is going to be in this group and one of the tops, and that's Julian Sayin.
Sure. There's just too many guys to name.
Julian Sayin isn't here. Like, that's one of the names that would be first to my list there. Like, I like Lenoris Sellers. He'd be over Lenoris Sellers. So, yeah, you just never know how this is all going to pan out, so this is not a thing.
Because it's never too early for a mock draft. I'm on Tankathon's mock, so they've got Mendoza go number 1 overall to the Raiders, but the next quarterback goes at 65, so it's the first pick in the 3rd round, Trinidad Chambliss. The Arizona Cardinals.
Where's Ty Simpson?
You can't.
A lot of people have Ty Simpson in the top 10.
I don't see him in the one that I'm looking at.
By the way, you can't put Trinidad in there, can you? Isn't he still waiting on?
He's trying to get an extra year of eligibility.
I think they're still trying to.
Initially, it was.
Yeah.
And then
I saw a mock draft that had him either the first or second pick of the 2nd round.
Who's that?
Trinidad Chambliss.
That's interesting.
Man, it goes to show you the quarterback class. Also forgotten in your list was Carson Beck. Remember how many years that was a thing?
Of course, Carson Beck. Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah.
I mean, all these forgotten names.
Not so 6-foot Diego Pavia.
Wow.
Could be coming to your NFL team soon.
We will Dylan Gabriel out of this.
We'll do a season perspective of the NFL Blitz coming up next. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
Catch the latest from the world of Ohio State athletics. Weeknights at 6 on the Buckeye Show. New special guests in everything scarlet and gray. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Dr. Mark Levy can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring. Sleep better. Live better.
It's 2026, the year you achieve your health goals. The Good Feet store wants to help. Trade in your bad feet for good feet. We want to help you walk, run, exercise, and play in comfort this year. Visit the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road in Grove City.
Hey there, it's Bo Bishop here. Valentine's Day is about showing her how much she means to you. And when you're buying jewelry you don't guess, you go with the best. That's why I trust my friends at Diamond Seller. Whether it's a necklace, bracelet, earrings, or something a little more personal, Diamond Seller makes sure you get it right. For nearly 80 years, they've helped guys find the perfect gift with luxury designer collections and expert advice that makes the process easy. And guy to guy, no pressure, no confusion, just great options, honest help. This Valentine's Day, give her something she'll never forget. Diamond Seller, Sawmill Road, Easton Town Center, online at diamondseller.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Let me ask you a question. Has the insulation in your windows failed? How would you know? Well, one way to tell is if you're running the heat this winter way more often than you normally do. That could be a sign that insulation has failed and you need new windows. Talk to the pros at Window Nation to find out what they can do to help. In fact, they've got a great deal going now. You can get new windows with big savings during Window Nation's Buy 4 Windows, Get 4 free sale. Plus, you could get them with 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. And as an added benefit, you'll get an extra 10% off for Valentine's Day. Window Nation's windows use top quality materials and seals along with insulated frames. They're so incredibly energy efficient, you actually save money on your utility bills. And they're backed with a lifetime warranty, so you won't have to live with broken windows again. Take advantage of Window Nation's Buy 4 Windows, Get 4 free sale and get an extra 10% off for Valentine's Day. You already know. Go to windownation.com now for a free consultation. That's windownation.com.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, you may be in big trouble with Chip Wood.
Our owner?
Free oil changes along with alignment?
On any 4-tire purchase.
And Michelin's up to $100 off?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike, but I'm telling.
But the Wood family is behind all this.
Oh, those rascals.
But don't tell the accountants.
Of course not. And what do they do again?
Buy any set of 4 tires at Tire Discounters and get a free alignment and oil change. Make them Michelin's and save up to $100 more. See store for details.
Getting the cold shoulder? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your furnace fast. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Hey, it's T-Bone again. Listen up. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Dr. Mark Levy's been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results. And now he has an office in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Since taking over for the Columbus Blue Jackets, Rick Bowness is 8-1 behind the bench, and Columbus looks to enter the Olympic break on an 8-game winning streak. They'll ride a 6-game streak into New Jersey tonight against the Devils at 7 o'clock. You can hear it on the Fan with coverage at 6:30. Elvis Merzlikins gets the nod in net. Kirill Marchenko will miss Tuesday with an illness. CBJ find themselves 4 points back of the Islanders for a playoff spot. CBJ will host the Chicago Blackhawks on Wednesday before 2 weeks off for the Olympics. Zach Werenski will skate for Team USA in the Milan Cortina games that officially start Friday with the opening ceremony. And in the NFL, the Browns will introduce Todd Monken as their new head coach today at noon. Super Bowl 60 is Sunday at 6:30. Hear it on the Fan with coverage after Ohio State hoops. This update is sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better. Breaking sports news on the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Joshua, I've said it often that perspective's a hell of a drug.
Sure.
So shame on me for height shaming anybody, right? Where I don't approve of anybody lying about their height because they or she, they're going to know. Right. They're going to find out eventually. I'm 5.5 feet tall, so I shouldn't look up to Diego Pavia, who's 6 foot, and be like, why are you doing that? I get it. I don't think it's right, but I suppose I understand.
I got a homeboy who is probably like 5'8" with an afro that's 2 inches tall, so maybe 5'10" on a good day.
Okay.
Who would lie and say that he was 6 foot tall on the dating apps. I had to cook him constantly.
I just don't think... I understand because some people do live in their own little world and they wonder why height's got to be a thing that turns them off to females. And it's like, it just does.
Listen, we're animals. Somebody, viable offspring, protecting the home. You need big people to do that.
Yeah.
That's the way to start a really good relationship, though, is with a lie right off the rip.
Like, everybody lies in dating.
That's why I could never ever do an online dating thing, because I never know if that's the person that I'm going to see. Like, I don't know. I mean, I may think I'm talking to this 5'8", gorgeous blonde with blue eyes, and it's actually somebody that looks like Danny DeVito on the other end. I have no clue.
Doesn't everybody put on in the beginning of the relationship? Like, you don't pull up wearing your TV watching sweatpants, farting at dinner. Everybody presents themselves in the best light, and for some people that means spinning the truth on their height to be more attractive.
I think that's a little different, but yeah, I get
the height. Yeah, I can't get behind the height. I just, to Baker's point, like, you wouldn't show up to a first date in shorts in the winter.
Yeah, I would. Why wouldn't I? That's me.
So how do you, because at least in like Chicago, they were a big dress code city for certain restaurants. Like, if you were going to a restaurant that had a white tablecloth, are you pulling out like the nice shorts or are you putting some slacks on?
You think you're talking to Uncle Bo here?
Well, no, I'm saying like if somebody invited you, let's say I invite you to Jeff Ruby's.
I dress accordingly when I have to. When I have to be professional.
He was calling
I have the clothes.
OHSAA state football championships. He had pants on.
Okay.
So I know he owns a pair of pants.
Yeah.
It was
I had to put on the one time when we talked about the playoffs over on 10 TV Plus. I had to put on a suit jacket and pants and everything, you know. Right. So I can act accordingly when needed to.
It was one of the more audacious things that Bo's ever said. Somebody asked us in Hey Guys, and we'll do Hey Guys tomorrow at 11 o'clock about a first date spot, and Bo threw out Jeff Ruby for a first date spot.
That's a big investment for a first date.
It's ambitious.
It is.
You're balling on a budget.
If you're trying to impress, though, like, hey, I got it.
Then how do you follow that up?
Whatever you want.
Why buy toilet paper when you got $5 bills, right? I mean,
what's
the follow-up is the question, right? You set the standard pretty high. Like, where are we dining? You can't go to Chili's after that.
I mean, you might just have to make it Jeff Ruby's consistently.
That's interesting.
Because you might not get a much better spot in the city.
Expensive life.
Even a man of leisure like himself, you should know that you don't come out guns blazing like that unless you're prepared to continue doing that.
I've been a patron there before I started on the show, before they started sponsoring the show, but High Bank Distillery Co. They got the 3 locations. Any of them would be perfect for a first date spot, and you can't really do much better for the price.
Bishop and Friends present NFL Blitz.
They pay me nothing to say that. Bo might be a different story. All right, so the objective of today's NFL Blitz is to do a season perspective or a season retrospective, as you've got Super Bowl 60 with the final 2 teams, Sunday in Santa Clara. Seahawks 4.5-point favorites there. Seattle's going all blue. New England's going all white. The Patriots are unbeaten in their white uniforms. The Seahawks are 0-2 in Super Bowls in those blues.
Interesting.
The last time Seattle wore all blues in a Super Bowl was Malcolm Butler picking off Russell Wilson in the end zone.
Wow.
So I saw somebody in the YouTube chat, and I really want to say a good job out of you, that maybe referenced, and this might have happened, where Mike McDonald was asked, what's your play on the goal line in the Super Bowl? That's a good bit. That's a really good bit.
And they got a great back, too, right? Just hand them the damn ball.
To this bit that we're doing on the radio, Joshua, what from the beginning of the NFL season did you predict that turned out to be true?
That J.J. McCarthy was going to have his fair share of struggles. I didn't believe in him during the NFL draft. I felt like the Michigan offense did a lot to take pressure off of him. And I thought some of his throws could be a bit erratic, did not love the mechanics. And the idea that he was just going to come in and be like this franchise quarterback early on, I felt like he was much more of a developmental prospect. We saw how bad it was at times for him. Certainly had a couple of moments where you could see, okay, there's the upside. But for me, it was absolutely J.J. McCarthy peeing himself for the majority of the games that he was healthy.
Baker?
For me, and I still to this day don't know why I made this pick, but the one thing I've always remembered AR saying is Vegas doesn't tell you what's going to happen. They just tell you that something's going to happen. And in the AFC North, I just felt like the one thing I could count on, the one consistent thing that was there, is that the Pittsburgh Steelers are a team that finishes over 500. And I thought they would get better quarterback play from Aaron Rodgers than they did the previous year. So I had the Pittsburgh Steelers winning the AFC North. And that's what they went out and did, making me look smart for once.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot this season. I went exactly 128 and 128 picking games against the number, Joshua. But I did think that Aaron Rodgers would take Pittsburgh to the playoffs. I didn't expect anything to be special after that, but just getting them into the postseason was something I said, yeah, I see that happening. I think I picked the Ravens to win the AFC North. And I think I had 3 AFC North teams in the postseason, so that'll dovetail into the what didn't you have, or what did you predict at the regular season at the beginning of the season that did not pan out?
Okay, so what I did not have was Lamar, Joe Burrow, Mahomes all missing the playoffs. And it was one of those things where it's like we felt like we had a crop of mainstays, like the AFC quarterbacks that we just know are going to do their thing. And you could put Josh Allen in there, who obviously did appear in the postseason. But the idea that it felt like such a changing of the guard in that aspect for various reasons, I was pretty shocked that the playoffs didn't feature those three guys.
So for me, there's a lot I didn't have right. I didn't see the Jacksonville Jaguars coming. I didn't think the Chicago Bears were there yet. I did have 3 teams from the NFC West, but one of those was not the Seattle Seahawks. I had the Arizona Cardinals. I thought that they were just in for a year. I thought Jonathan Gannon had that defense going the right way. It seemed like Kyler Murray was healthy. I thought that him and Marv would find a connection, and Marv would have a massive year. He only had 41 catches on the year for 608 yards and 4 touchdowns. Now, he did miss 5 games, but even if you calculate those numbers and put them out over those games, it's not the massive season that you thought Marv would have. James Conner got hurt. I just thought the Cardinals were going to be a team that would somehow sneak in there at the end of the playoffs.
I said at the beginning of the year, Joshua Baker, that if the Bengals missed the playoffs, they would fire Zach Taylor. They did not fire Zach Taylor. In fact, he was the only man left standing.
Yeah.
When all the dust settled in the regular season. Mike Tomlin, gone. John Harbaugh, gone. Kevin Stefanski, gone. Now, 2 of the 3 have found jobs elsewhere, and if Mike Tomlin wanted to put his hat in the coaching ring, he'd probably have a job right now. I think he's taking the year off, but the fact that Zach Taylor's still around, boy, it was a big old miss out of me. Who impressed you the most this season of any NFL player or unit?
All right, so I'm going to go with Kyle Hamilton. And for me, I always saw him being this type of a player in the NFL. It's one of the things about the NFL draft. I've got a lot of takes on it, but I don't think draft analysts watch enough college football, and so they get a little bit surprised when they're like evaluating guys and trying to extrapolate what their ceilings are. I watch these guys all day long, so I felt like I knew what the top end is, but to see him consistently go out there and make the types of plays that he does, first team all-pro type of guy, like, for me, I love when defensive players can be a weapon, which his new coach, Jesse Minter, has called him a weapon. Like, he's so impressive to me.
We all knew he was good, but Jackson Smith and Jigba went to another level this year. He, I believe Pro Football Focus had him like a 94.3 grade, which has him the 2nd highest wide receiver in the league. I find it hard to believe he's not the best route runner in the league right now. He can do everything you want from a wide receiver, number 1, the 8th best receiving total in NFL single season history this year. Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave were right when they said Jackson Smith and Jigba was better than them.
Yeah.
Drake May in year 2. Him and Bo Nix, really, like going into this year, I'm like, I think they're good. But, man, are we having a different conversation about both of those teams without the quarterback play, especially from Drake May and the Patriots? 4th in yards passing, 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. They're not asking him to do a ton, but that's smart coaching, and he's handling it. He's taking everything in stride, and he's handling it as a veteran in his 2nd year. Player who disappointed from this season, Joshua?
All right, so maybe not from what I thought that he could be, but just the full picture of it. Shamar Stewart with the holdout and the threat that he might actually go back to college, and then to be hurt for a lot of the year, and then when you're healthy, only produce 1 sack. Like, what are we doing here? This is the 1st-round pick, and I felt like the hype got a little bit too high on him. But at some point, after all the drama, you need to deliver. And the fact that you couldn't be healthy, but also when you weren't a productive player, it's disappointing.
I'm going with another Ohio State receiver here, and I already talked about him a little bit, and that's Marvin Harrison Jr. 2 years in, and I don't know if it's all his fault. The Arizona Cardinals are obviously not a great organization. I don't know if him and Kyler see football the same way.
Well, they certainly don't see eye to eye.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, now.
But Marv, he started the year with drops. Very uncharacteristic of him. They kind of continued a little bit throughout the season, and then he got hurt. And I thought Marv was going to be better than what we've seen so far.
Josh Allen. If you were going to get to the Super Bowl, it was going to be this year. Quarterbacks you mentioned not involved in the postseason. There's Josh Allen with the Buffalo Bills and the $50 million plus they spent on free agents. And to go out the way that they did was disappointing. Coach of the year, Joshua.
All right, I'm going to go with Clint Kubiak here. And we've seen what Seattle's offenses look like. Obviously, he's worked his way into becoming a head coach in the NFL. Sam Darnold, I think, was a player that people believe you could win in the regular season with. But to have him performing to the level that he is in the postseason, I think is impressive. You mentioned JSN Bake, and the way that they utilize him and find ways to get him targets is phenomenal. And I think everybody's starting to realize that running the football is still important when it comes to offensive football. They do a great job of that. The other thing for me, and this kind of goes into a different discussion about pipelines and Rooney Rule, because I know there's been a lot of talk about that. Kubiak was a dude who played defense in college and was made the wise decision of becoming an offensive coach, because those guys get on the rocket ship and they elevate. And we see where his career's taken off to, but absolutely phenomenal job out of him all year.
I can't believe I'm not going to go with one of the guys that's coaching in the Super Bowl or even Ben Johnson, but
Duval.
I'm going with Liam Cohen. Not only did he turn around a team that went 3-14 last year, and now they're 13-4 this season, but he did it with a first-time offensive coordinator and a first-time defensive coordinator, too. I thought that was a recipe for disaster for the Jacksonville Jaguars this year. Liam Cohen deserves a ton of credit.
I got Kubiak's boss this season and Mike McDonald. Yeah, the third best team projected in the NFC West. Well, they'll be playing in the final game of the NFL's season. More football, it's what you want. Your viewing habits tell us that's probably what you're going to get. We'll discuss that next. Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Well, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here. You know High Bank for their award-winning spirits, but the food deserves just as much love. Enjoy happy hour with friends, brunch with family, and dinner that never misses. Make your reservation today at highbankco.com. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
The savings are so good at Great Lakes. But have you seen our inventory? With over 1,000 new Hyundais to choose from, there's no need to settle at glakeshyundai.com. Find a new Palisade with the exact options you need, or a new Tucson in that color you have been seeing around town. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with Hyundai Assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile coverage. At Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings and selection are so good.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty. Wait, what? Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Back in the day, if you wanted to listen to The Fan, you turned on the radio, and that was the end of the story. But now, oh baby, stream us live on The Fan app. TuneIn app, iHeart app, we're everywhere. The Fan, Ohio's streaming destination.
All the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
My furnace stopped working. Your competition said it's fried. When I saw their cost to replace it, I could have just died.
We can give a second opinion, give you options and advice. We'll strive to earn your trust and make you a client for life.
Get a free second opinion. Replace or repair.
Call 614-683-9911. Call all the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Scattered snow showers today, mainly south of I-70, looking at accumulations. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with highs in the low 30s. For tonight, mostly cloudy with our lows in the single digits again, and then mostly sunny on Wednesday with daytime highs topping out in the mid to low 20s. I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 weather impact forecast.
We are your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah. The Fan Ohio sports destination. Our top men are working on everything except this show.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Yes, you are. Eric Reeser, Joshua Perry, Ryan Baker. Top men rolling with you until noon today. The top man, Bo Bishop, will be hopefully back with us tomorrow. He's, still trying to fight off of injured reserve, emergency, Alka-Seltzer, anything else that you can take to kind of get over the bug that he's got. But 5 hours of radio on a normal voice will do it. 5 hours of radio on a ragged, scraggly voice. That's doing yeoman's work. So we'll have, hopefully, Bo back healthy on tomorrow's program. But Joshua, thank you for stepping up and stepping in, as you did last week when I drove from Charlotte to Columbus.
How'd the drive go?
It was awful. I wouldn't recommend it, but it was much better than waiting in an airport or trying to finagle a hotel. And what they wanted to do was, it was supposed to be a Tuesday night flight from Charlotte to Columbus. They thought, okay, what about a Tuesday late night flight? Well, that got canceled. And they thought, what about a Wednesday flight? And they're like 7 o'clock. I'm like, AM? Like, no, PM. Get in a car. So did that drive. And then when we got home on Wednesday late afternoon, we got a text saying that flight that we were supposed to be scheduled on Wednesday night got canceled.
Oh, there you go. Made the right decision.
Yeah, it was what would Bo Bishop do? And he's made the point often of when he gets stuck or stranded anywhere, he looks to see what's the drive looking like? Mm-hmm. Can I do it? How many do I have? All the kids? Is the whole family with me? And if all signs point to drive, get in that car and drive.
He seems more like a get a car service to do the drive for me kind of guy.
Well, different tax brackets. My girlfriend and I shared responsibilities. Driving through West Virginia is pretty when it's the summer.
Yeah.
Not so much when it's single digits and wind gusting. But yeah, thank you for always being ready.
Of course.
I think with what we've talked with NBC, with the RSN model, earlier in the program about how that's going the way of the dodo. We do see so many different streaming services just pop up, it feels like monthly. I know what we're going to see with the Olympics is NBC, Peacock, the coverage that they're going to have on the station, the main coverage on Peacock, but then they're going to have 30 other channels to where you can watch prelims, to where you could watch practice, to where you could watch whatever it is you want to watch. And it got me, it buttresses my point that I've made for a couple of years now, is to where you can now in a sports media landscape, and I think you've been able to do this for a couple of years, but I think the desire is getting more. The desire is lining up with the availability of a group of 6 college football playoff, in where I'm not, I have nothing against Tulane, nothing against James Madison. They certainly deserved what the system provided.
There's a but in here somewhere.
They're not in the same league with actual teams competing for the college football playoff. And you saw it play out on the field 3 times this season, at least 3 times, twice with Ole Miss and Tulane, and then with James Madison and Oregon. Those aren't serious contests. And I felt watching the game in Eugene, it was a huge miss because you missed out on an opportunity to have Eugene in December in a big-time matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I'm there from the postseason structure. I've always asked the question, and I have to rework this question, by the way, because I would say that do we believe that Tulane or JMU are actually competing for the same thing that Ohio State and Georgia are competing for at the beginning of the year? And the answer to that is no.
Right.
I would also say the second part, which is, do you believe that Indiana and Ohio State are competing for the same thing, which they now are? So I think this is a little bit more of a mobile college football landscape in terms of having success. And I'll be curious to see, too, in terms of recruiting, because we see teams trying to get more veteran. Do better recruits start off their careers at group of 6 programs before they take the next step up to the Power 4 big conference programs? Neither here nor there. I think there would be a great appetite for a group of 6 playoff. I think there are a lot of people who love watching those games because of the love of the game. There are a lot of people who went to those schools that support their alma mater, even if they may be a fan of the flagship team of wherever they're from. There is a desire for it, I would believe, but there's also a competitive aspect of this that I think makes a lot of sense. The biggest obstacle is the stakeholders for the group of 6 would say you can't do that. It's othering. You're making us something other than what these other schools are. And we want to still be able to compete at the same level of the big boys, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing for them, but that's what they believe in.
There's so many things that when you do hear that from group of 6 and their stakeholders, that you can go, well, here's the money spent. Here's what Ohio State's spending. Here's what Ohio is spending. Here's what Ohio State's bringing in revenue-wise. Here's what Ohio's bringing in revenue-wise. And I agree with you where you have the James Madisons and the Tulanes of the world that say, well, we're just as much a part of this as you guys are. Like this is, and I think for the college football playoff, which announced expansion, which didn't announce it was going to expand in terms of teams, it was going to have some caveats for the group of 5, not necessarily the champion, but the highest ranked team. And so they're kind of moving away from guaranteeing these spots for the group of 6. But I wish that it would come from a place of we're doing this. It is kind of like it would be taken in a condescending kind of way. We're like, this is in your best interest.
Right.
And I think if you had the financials there with you that said, if you guys went off into, because as an Ohio University grad, I have great love for that football team, but it's not the same.
Right.
And I would love, and I think a lot of Mid-American Conference alums and fans would love to see them compete for a national championship every single year if you gave them that track.
And
it's tough to your point.
I am okay if one of those teams is the best 12 in the country.
Sure.
Because that's what we're doing. As far as I know, we are trying to find the best team in the country, and we want the best 12 teams participating in this thing. I believe Boise State was one of the 12 best teams last year.
Yeah.
So even if you have the group of 6 playoff, if one of them is one of the 12 best, throw them in. Put them in there. They can bypass their playoff and get to play in the big boy playoff if you're truly one of the best. I don't think James Madison or Tulane were one of the 12 best teams this year, and I think that did a disservice to the college football playoff.
I think I can get on board with that as long as we change how we rank the teams. And what I mean by that is I think that if it was a committee of people that was still in charge of selecting the field of teams, they would already build in a bias of, well, these guys have their own playoff anyway, so let's not even really, we'll discount whatever we think about them. If you went to the computers, which were more favorable to the group of 6 teams that made the playoff this year than the CFP rankings anyway, I think you get a better look at how good these teams might actually be.
Correct. And I've spouted that for years, that BCS formula ranks them and puts them in. We don't need a committee. They're also, those humans are going to have biases because of the universities they work for and represent, which is not those group of 6 universities.
Great point.
It's so tough, right? Because when you talk about the committee, in the back of my head, I go, they're never getting rid of the committee because they're never getting rid of the committee show because they're never getting rid of that content. Despite everybody thinking that they should because it's useless, it still drives so much revenue. And that's why I think this discussion is important. And I think that's why we need to continue to have this discussion, because we're just in so many things that don't make sense. It's like, let's try to make sense of something makes sense. And this feels to me now that you've got to the earlier point of all of these streaming availabilities, all of these places that would want to show live sports. It's the biggest commodity we have.
Yes, it is.
You would be able to, I think, present a compelling case to the G6 of do your own thing, have plenty of buy-in, have plenty of financial incentives to do so, while also propping up the college football playoff. But you're absolutely right in ego's a hell of a thing.
It is. It is. Nobody wants to be told that they have to continue to sit at the kids' table during Thanksgiving. At some point, you want to feel like you can be involved in what the adults are doing at the big table. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest obstacles to ever having a more equitable situation for a group of 16 to win a title.
I just don't. To your point about Boise State, it's that was a legitimately top 12 team. I don't know how often you're going to see that, especially going forward. You joke about the Ohio pipeline to Ohio State. Now it's a real thing.
Yeah,
where you have the best of those schools getting poached by all of these programs. And so it lessens the strength of those schools now with the transfer portal, the one-time transfer rule, and however nuts college football is going to continue to get. It's been nuts for the Blue Jackets, but nuts in a way that gives you some hope. We'll have Jody, Shelley coming on in 2 minutes. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
I started my first business when I was 12, mowing lawns for about $5 a yard. I learned if you do the job right, people trust you and customers care that you show up and do what you say you're going to do. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner of Don's Garage Doors. From garage door repairs to upgrades, we show up, we stand behind every job. We only use the best parts and springs guaranteed to last a lifetime. When you care about the people you serve, you work harder and it shows. Call Don's Garage Doors today or schedule online at donsgaragedoors.com.
When it comes to garage doors, no one knows more.
Got this. Breathe. You got this. You got this.
In the moments that truly matter, what do? Rise to the occasion. Ohio Health. It's time.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Your heat seems to be running a lot more than it should. Why? It's because the insulation in your windows has failed. Talk to the pros at Window Nation and get new windows and big savings during Window Nation's Buy 4 Windows, Get 4 free sale. Plus, you could get them with 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. Act now and you get an extra 10% off for Valentine's Day. When your window insulation fails, usually due to old or cheap materials, all of your window's energy efficiency disappears. The result, a house that is cold in the winter and hot in the summer. The worst part is they could have failed years ago and you wouldn't even know about it. Window Nation's windows use top quality materials and seals along with insulated frames. They're so incredibly energy efficient that you'll actually save money on your utility bills. Plus, they're backed with a lifetime warranty, so you won't have to live with broken windows again. Take advantage of Window Nation's Buy 4 Windows, Get 4 free sale and get an extra 10% off for Valentine's Day. Visit windownation.com now for a free consultation.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan. The gloves. It's Shelley time.
Jackets are taking their 6-game winning streak on the road tonight to New Jersey. That's where we find our next guest, Jody, Shelley of FanDuel Sports Network. Doing a little bit of Shelley time before the CBJ take on the Devils in New Jersey. Jody, before we get to what the Blue Jackets have been able to do under Rick Bowness, now 8-1, I want to get your thoughts real quick on the Stadium Series game from over the weekend that had everything. Goalie fight, overtime, a shootout win for the home team. And outside of Halloween, have you ever worn an outfit as audacious as the one John Cooper had on?
I have, but only for Halloween. Yeah, he was in character in that gangster styled shirt and jacket and hat, but I was very impressed that he kept it on the whole time. It was like 32 degrees in Tampa with the wind whipping around. So that was impressive. I didn't watch the game until I saw there was a goalie fight. And then like the rest of the world, I turned it on and the game turned into something electric. It was outstanding. Everything that was going on there with the comeback. Vasilevsky. Think about this. Did you have in your bingo card, Andre Vasilevsky and Sergei Bobrovsky would have a fight in the 2025-26 season as goaltenders? Like, no chance. No. And it's happened here in the last 3 weeks. So it's incredible.
No, certainly is incredible. Jody, we've been talking about all this momentum, the bonus bump, and this team has 2 more games before they head off to the Olympic break. Do you think they're looking at that as an opportunity? They don't have a lot of guys playing in the games as an opportunity to kind of rest, reset, or do you think they would like to just carry the momentum and not have a break coming up?
No, I think everyone needs a break. I think it's been very condensed. I think that part of the energy you're seeing now is the energy from a break coming. And when you look at 82 games, you break it up into segments as a player. It's usually Thanksgiving, Christmas, All-Star break or Olympic break, and then push to the playoffs and then playoffs starting. There's segments to everything. And this is the one that's been circled for a long time. This is time to relax, spend time with family, maybe travel, decompress. But I think that last year with the break after the outdoor game and all that went on, the 4 nations for the Blue Jackets, there was a dip. And listen, when you have young teams, it's about growing and understanding and learning from your past. And right now, I think that, the veterans in that locker room that went through that last year missed the playoffs by 2 points because there was a dip after that 4 nations and 2 of man. There's players that just weren't the same after the break last year. I think that's a hot topic in the locker room for this team right now because they want to come out of the break and be just as much of a unit as they are tonight going into this game.
Jody, I was lucky enough to be over in St. Louis for the Wins Saturday night.
Right.
And that game earlier in the year, it sure felt like this Blue Jackets team would have lost, kind of similar to the home game against Philadelphia last Wednesday. What's the biggest change that you see right now at the end of these games that's allowing them to win them when they weren't earlier in the year?
Yeah, there's certainty. There's less freedom to make decisions with the puck that could cost the team or more importantly, give momentum to the other team or feed their fire. You see turnovers inside the blue line where you're just feeding the opposition's downhill play, or if you're on the attack and you decide to make the play to the middle of the ice, which isn't a certain play to one of your teammates and it goes the other way, there's just a conscious awareness of when you have the puck, it's okay to keep it deep in the corner with the lead, or when you're chasing the league, there's a confidence in how they play and how, things are initiated from saves or turnovers or defensemen up in the play or defensemen cycling low. They just seem to have, they're in sync with a lot of different areas. And I remember playing and you get the puck at the offensive zone blue line. Sometimes it seems like you're just giving up giving the puck up to give it deep. And it just seems like too simple of a play, but you're going to see those plays more and more where you just keep pushing the opposition deep in their own end.
Jody, do you think the results of the next 2 games will have any impact on what the Jackets do or don't do at that March 6th trade deadline?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you got Boone Jenner, who's an unrestricted free agent. You got Charlie Coyle, who's an unrestricted free agent. You got some pieces here. You bring in Marchment. He's an unrestricted free agent. The teams are going to be circling. I don't think it's just these 2 games. So I'm going to retract here a little bit. I think it goes later than that, right till the deadline. To where this team is right now shows you. I mean, a team that goes on this run, it's for real. Like this team is good. Everyone around the league where I travel to, they all talk about the Blue Jackets and how they just kind of underachieved in the beginning. This is a good hockey team. And, I think that it's not just these 2 games. It's what they've done the past month and coming out of the break that makes a decision what they're going to do. I already think they've convinced the management what they're going to do, and that's keep this team together and take a run. Because the East is wide open. You get in the playoffs this year in the East, it's wide open. This could be a year where you really do things you've never done before.
All right, so let's say until the deadline, they continue this momentum, they continue to win. If they're going to be buyers in that situation, who or what would you like to see them add?
Oh, there's always a need for another defenseman. I mean, I think there's always need for a veteran defenseman. I think the playoffs get strong. There's situations of pressure. I think there's situations of injuries. I think you can always add a piece of an experienced defenseman. I think Jack Johnson was here last year. I mean, his value to me was off the charts. I know he didn't play a lot, but just intangibles and situations and It doesn't matter what it is. Those are attributes you have to have in the locker room. And I also think another big forward. You know, it's when you look at the goaltending, I think it could be, you know, there's something good between the two of them now that Elvis has got some confidence back in the way he's preparing. But if you get a good forward in that middle six, you look at a couple of those lines, they need some more teeth on it. You know, I thought that Marchment brought in playing on the top line. He brought a different element to that line. And I think that's a positive. I think something like that would help. Someone that needs a fresh start and kind of comes in like Marchment did and enjoys what's happening here in Columbus.
Jody, you mentioned that top line. Unfortunately, no Kirill Marchenko tonight. He's out ill. Isaac Lundestrom jumps up to that top line spot. A couple games ago, Charlie Coyle, unprovoked, mentioned Isaac Lundestrom in his post-game interview. Then Rick Bowness talked about him a couple games ago. You mentioned him in your last Shelley time a little bit. How big of an opportunity is this for Isaac tonight?
Yeah, you know what? I think I think he's already had his opportunity, and now he's proven that quickly to Rick Bowness. I mean, he's a player he can put anywhere. And Rick Bowness has had players like this in his lineup that he's gone to, you know. Instead of messing up different lines, you have a guy in the fourth line who can kill penalties. An injury, he can play anywhere, any position, left, right, or center. And now he's elevated in the lineup because he trusts him. I mean, he's just a guy that he understands. He's smart. He's in the right areas all the time. He's a low risk. He's a guy that does the right thing and just kind of, I mean, he's a quiet guy. But at times he plays a loud game when it's the stick check on a back check, or being there to block a shot, or being there to make a pass or receive a pass or win a battle. Those are things that go a long way with coaches, especially new coaches with fresh eyes on you.
All right, Jody, we'll talk more about your special Wednesday night opportunity on tomorrow's program. You'll be reunited with Jeff Rimmer in the broadcast booth for the game against the Chicago Blackhawks, which is awesome. But I do have just a quick question. Is he going to make you buy his book?
No.
Okay.
No. He said I'm in the book, so I think I get a copy. Come on now.
Did he ask, I mean, is there anything that you can give us did he ask you about anything in the book? Like for your participation?
No.
What?
No. This all happened very quick. He told me he was writing a book. He said I would be in the book. Now he's got a copy of the book I see flashing around town. So no, there's no, unless I don't remember. But I mean, he could have been writing this over the past decade that we worked together. So who knows? Who knows what's going to come out of the Rimmer book?
He's been everywhere trying to hawk that thing. So
One day at a time. One day at a time. We'll talk about him tomorrow.
All right, Jody. Enjoy the call tonight. Safe travels back to Columbus. Yeah, we'll talk about Rimmer and more on tomorrow's program. Thanks, bud.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you. Bye.
And Jody comes with courtesy the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Yeah, Rimmer's book, it doesn't get any better than this. Unforgettable calls in the booth and unexpected turns in life. You'd think for as many years as Jody and Jeff did Blue Jackets and did the Blue Jackets on TV and had as many great calls as Rims did with Jody in the booth, he might want to talk to him about it.
Or I don't know if he let him pre-screen a copy of the book. That's a pretty common thing when you've worked with somebody for a while. Hey, here's a pre-release. Go ahead and read this and let me know your thoughts.
Spontaneity keeps us all young.
Man.
But we'll get Jody back on tomorrow at 11:30 in advance of the Jackets and the Chicago Blackhawks. But he's absolutely right. Tonight against the Devils, 4-point game. It's you should win this to carry momentum into the Olympic break. We'll do 3 things on a Tuesday next. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then they help you do more with it. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
This Buckeye Football Impact Report is brought to you locally by Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse on the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Ohio State football Impact Report.
In loading the roster up for 2026, Ohio State has added a group of linebackers, Christian Allegro from Wisconsin, as well as Nate Riegel from Ohio University by way of the transfer portal, and incoming high schoolers Sincere Johnson out of Cleveland, Glenville, and Niall Diggs Jr. from Charlotte, North Carolina. A lot of that has to do with the recruiting prowess of linebackers coach James Laurinaitis, who gets praise from head coach Ryan Day.
He's really, in a short period of time, turned into a really good coach in a lot of different ways. And recruiting's a big part of it. He recognizes the guys that he wants. He goes and gets them. He's honest with them. It's not Disneyland recruiting. I think he's straight with them. They know what they're going to get when they get here, and he treats them like they're going to be like he was during recruiting. That's just the way he handles his business, and certainly, he's a Buckeye that we all can be proud of.
And he'll be entered into the College Football Hall of Fame later this year. This report brought to you by Safelite Auto Glass and the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield. Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite repair, Safelite replace.
Buckeye fans, choose Chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes those moments when you choose to rise above the noise and choose Chill even better. Coors Light is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, so crack one open and take a sip. Coors Light, choose Chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado, beer.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Toyota gives you more electrified hybrid choices than anyone else, including the stylish new Corolla, a name synonymous with Toyota quality and dependability, the elegant new Toyota Crown Signia, and the latest edition of the legendary 4Runner. Toyota's extensive lineup also includes battery EVs like the tech-savvy all-electric BZ4X, and of course, the iconic Prius, the hybrid that started it all. That's the power of choice. From Toyota, let's go places.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty.
Wait, what?
Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, one thing our Pella Columbus team is really serious about is to not be salesy or pushy. We're just here to listen and hopefully make your dream a reality.
Oh, I had a dream last night where I went back in time to a dinosaur's birthday party and had to fight a triceratops for the last cupcake.
I meant more like home makeover type of dreams.
Oh, okay. I just got the dinosaur thing.
Get the windows that can completely change the look and feel of your home at PellaColumbus.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The perfect show for quarter zips and khaki shorts. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And our thanks to Jody Shelley for joining us in that last segment. He'll be on tomorrow at 11:30. We'll do some more Shelley time in the final game, but before the Olympic break. The Jackets are hosting the Blackhawks tomorrow night. They're at the New Jersey Devils tonight. Looks like Jack Hughes will not be in the lineup for New Jersey, which is good for the Jackets, but they'll be without Kirill Marchenko. The CBJ are putting Elvis in net tonight, and that takes us to our daily fan poll. Will the Blue Jackets extend their winning streak to 6 games tonight when they face the Devils in New Jersey? 73% of respondents to the daily fan poll say yes. The rest of you are haters.
Let's go.
Let's go Jackets. Let's make it, 9 straight or 8 straight when you go into that Olympic break. I think they're back on the 26th against the Boston Bruins. That game is in Boston. No, I got to turn the thing on.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
In my defense, the sponsor aired.
That's right. You
and
got the
I waited
sponsor
to the
in.
last segment to miss on a button.
That's all that matters.
I'm hitting just well enough to be in the Cleveland Guardians lineup. First thing for me is from the Department of Corrections, where I had made that statement earlier in the program about if you can rent a car, you should not play college football. And this goes back to thinking that we have, like, as general groupthink. Like, if you're a cop, you have to tell someone you're a cop. Like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to be 25 to rent a car in the United States. Like, I'm on Hertz's website right now, and you can rent a car at 20. There are some restrictions.
Additional fees?
There are some additional fees.
There you go.
And you are excluded from their dream car collection, which I don't know what that is for Hertz, but the minimum age in U.S. and Canada is 20 years old. In Michigan, New York, and Quebec, it's 18.
Well, you don't want 19-year-old influencers with the cars on Instagram, you know?
No. I don't want them anywhere near cars.
Now, if you're under 25, you do have to pay like a young person's fee there that really jacks the price up on you. But
Feels discriminatory, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of ageist of you, Hertz and Enterprise.
They should charge an old people fee, by the way.
maybe so.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna give you this one. So Uncle Dami was talking about it, and I'm totally with him. There's a part when the snow is fresh and it falls and it's beautiful, and then there's a part where everything looks dirty. And we're at that part, and I want the cold to go away so I don't have to look at the dirty snow every day when I get up.
I think that's fair. And then it gets hardened with the cold temperatures and kind of make it hard to move around. So I'm with you on that. My first thing, I'll talk about Uncle Dom as well. So when we talked to him, he was over at the Schottenstein Center getting ready for the Jake Diebler show that he does every week that airs on 10 TV weekday mornings. Well, while they were there, he said that they're setting up for the Andrea Bocelli concert. And I'm like, well, wait a second. Reeser just told me that he's going to be part of the opening ceremonies for the Olympic Games over in Italy on Friday. Uncle Dom was right. Andrea Bocelli is the first date of his North American Romanza 30th Anniversary World Tour is this Saturday at the Shot. So we just talked to Jody Shelley, and he has a crazy schedule going all across the country. Like, he landed in Newark 30 minutes before we talked to him. I'd love to see Mr. Bocelli's travel scheduled in and how crazy that is.
He might be on a private jet,
I was about to say, and I'll make this my first one just in having that conversation because, he's at the Schottenstein Center, and then he's doing a Tampa trip. But Bocelli will be Friday for that opening ceremony. It's 2 o'clock Eastern time. But, yeah, I think in that instance, he's just PJing it.
Got it.
Like, you're not just putting him on commercial on the Southwest flight to Newark and then overseas. Because it's going to be for the opening ceremony, 5-time Grammy Award winner Mariah Carey, Golden Globe winner Laura Pausini, I don't know who that is, and then famed Italian tenor Andrea Bocelli.
Give me Mariah.
Yes.
That's all I want.
90s Mariah. I get it.
All right. Here's another one for you. I'm going out to San Francisco tomorrow, and then I'm going to red-eye it back Thursday night. And part of the rationale is that these events are all a big schmooze. It's the reason why I don't like the way that we crown champions in the NFL or in college football. It's a bunch of rich people. It's a bunch of corporate people. Nobody who's going to be like going crazy over whatever happens in the game. And they all go there so they can schmooze, and they're doing it on the company dime. I'm excited to be out there just to see what's going on, but it's always such a weird environment seeing all the suits walking around for sports events.
Are they the same kind of people that do the Rose Bowl and the Orange Bowl?
Oh, they're all the same kind of people.
Gosh.
Yeah, big suits.
Good gig if you can get it.
It's the one I want when I retire.
So, second thing for me, it's kind of hard to think with all the cold weather and the snow, but baseball will be here before we know it. I saw a picture today of the Reds packing up their trucks to head out for spring training. Pitchers and catchers report here in 2 weeks. The Ohio State baseball team's season starts here February 3rd. So 10 days from now, they're going to be down in Pensacola taking on St. Louis in a series. I saw yesterday that the Buckeyes put out a tweet of some throwback uniforms that they are going to be wearing this year. And I saw you tweet on this, Mr. Joshua Perry, that you would like to get one of those hats. Well, if you pick one of those hats up, I would like one too, because those things are sweet. Those are some awesome looking baseball uniforms. Check out the Buckeye Baseball Twitter if you haven't seen them. Very cool uniforms. Good job out of them.
And we're doing baseball already. I did wonder, and I'll make this now my third thing, as we talked about the RSN model going away, and as the Reds are now going to MLB TV, it'll be Reds.TV for all of your Cincinnati Reds baseball games that you can watch. You can hear Reds baseball here on The Fan 2, our family of radio networks.
Unless you hypothetically have a box. We wouldn't
condone that kind of behavior because it's illegal.
I mean, if you hypothetically.
No.
It's a dangerous game you're playing. Speaking to an NBC employee, Brian Baker. We would not condone that kind of behavior, but I hope they don't lock the players out once the CBA goes in December of 26, because I fear in 2027, if they do come back, is anybody going to be waiting for them?
I think there's going to be a work stoppage, and I think your question is very valid, so we'll wait and see on that. All right, my final thing. So I was doing Fan Sports Sunday here with Cole Bartimus, and he made the appeal that he has never been to a wedding. And fun fact, his cousin is one of my best friends from college, and he, in fact, went to that wedding, and it was a very interesting way for him to exclude his family. I've never been to a wedding, but he's been to many. One that I've seen him at.
He might have meant a wedding he can
That's what he
have
meant,
a time
but
at.
you can't say I've never been to a wedding when you've been to plenty.
Yeah, bad job out of him there on that one. Final thing for me, speaking of Cole Bartimus, him and AR and Matty Ice, they're coming up next, Rothman and Ice. They want to hear from you at 1 o'clock. The floor is yours. The phone lines will be open. Give them a call. They'll put you on the shot clock. You can talk about whatever you want.
It's always ambitious. 821-9710 for that. We're not going to be taking your calls.
Not right now.
We've got to step aside. JP, it was wonderful for me. How was it for you?
Always a pleasure.
Thank you for stepping in. We'll get a Bo TBD for tomorrow, Bishop and Friends, 9 to noon, right here on The Fan.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No, the Buckeyes